1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Yes, yes, yes. It's Raphie Dawkins Combat Radio. And this is You Are in Tune. Hold on. How could I be so rude? How could I be so rude? Uno momento. Uno momento. Where's the music? Where is the music? What are we going with today? What are we going with today? Okay. Let's go with this. Okay. First things first. Let's get a sound check. Can you hear the music? Oh dear. Heinrich with the jokes. Okay. No, you can't hear the music. Bit low. Music is a bit low. Let's correct that. So I put the music up a little bit. Raise the music up a little bit. So hopefully you can hear that now. I won't get your response for a few seconds more. Okay. Okay. So let me go into the YouTube window. So let me go. Okay. Let me just do a little check. Okay. Let me just do a little check. Okay. Let me just do a little check. Okay. I'm not going to use that track. I'm not going to use that track because I have to have it too loud. Okay. I'm not going to use that track. I'm not going to use that. I have to have it too loud for you to hear it. Just some technical things. So I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to play it safe and try this track. Let me see how this sounds. Let me see how this sounds. Let me see how this. Still too low. Still too low. Okay. Okay. All right, let me try that. Yeah, that's good. Yes, that is good. Gonna go with that level. Okay. Okay, so we are alive. It's Boxing Talk with Raphie. Episode 43. Okay, so without much further ado, we're gonna crack on, get straight into it. No messing around. Okay. Okay. Situated. Oh, my bad. First of all, let me drop a link in the comment. Let me drop the link in the comment section. Okay. Boom. There is the link. There is the link. Okay. Anybody want to jump on? Let me know. Okay. So, as we know, where do we start? Where are we going to start? Where are we going to start? Let's get into the chat. Let's go to the chat first. Let's go to the chat first, see what's going on. Heinrich Schmitz. Heinrich Schmitz says there was more atmosphere on the moon than there was in that press conference. Yes. Yes, yes, I concur. I would have to agree. John Dealey in the building. Ped, the Pedmeister. It's the Toby Bartlett. Scrolling down. Heinrich Smith says, was waiting for Tyson Fury to storm in and shout, "You're paradosses." Why would Tyson Fury? How could Tyson Fury storm in and say that when he's fighting pure cherries? How could Tyson Fury say that when he's fighting pure cherries? I don't think he's qualified to say that. Yeah? He's not fighting top-ranked guys. He's fighting unknown guys. He's fighting guys. Tyson Fury's fighting guys that nobody's ever heard of. That's not a good look. It's not a good look. Not at all. Heinrich Schmidt says UK fans are truly the best, I guess. Well, very passionate. And we support the sport. We support the sport. She's biz in the building. Okay. Joe 56984 in the building. He says Andy Ruiz looked fat, even by his standards. Andy Ruiz looked like he'd been living the good life. He looked like he'd been stocking up on those pork burritos before heading over to Saudi. Yes, indeed. And we have joining us today by the power of live satellite, EJ Boxing.
Yes, Raphie. Well gone, Raphie.
How you doing, mate? How's it going?
Oh, everything's good, man. On the post of the Andy Ruiz, finally, Saudi Arabia, the press conference gone down. Yeah, man. Everything's good, Raph. Everything's good.
I agree. It's good to see. It's good to see them boys finally together on a podium. Unfortunately, they kept on cutting. They cut the audio. They cut the audio. They cut the audio when Joshua and Ruiz got together. I think that was most unfortunate. I don't know. If there's gonna be any. Well, if they cut the main audio, then the main audio is gone. Hopefully, as in the big baby Gerald Miller case, the main audio was cut by the main broadcasters, but independent filmers, having said that, will there be many independent filmers? Independent filmers still had audio. So hopefully, over the next few hours or next 24 hours, some independent camera crews should hopefully be able to upload some footage with the audio, because it looked to me as if, as if some interesting words were being said betwixt the two. Anthony Joshua looked like, you tricked me the last time, with your little smiley, with your little chubby smiley face. But that little snake smile, that little smile, your little snake smile. You tricked me the last time, but the last time was the last time, and this time it's gonna be a whole different ball game. That was my impression of it. What about you, EJ
Yeah,
Boxing? What was your
yeah,
take?
yeah. What I was taking that this is what I heard. I don't know if it's true or not. That apparently Anthony Joshua said, "Can I hold the belts?" And Ruiz said no, and that's where Anthony Joshua started laughing. That's what I heard. Like for real, that's what's going around. Is like what I mean. It's like,
Somebody said that in the chat, because I took a few minutes out to look at the live, the thing as it was going down live, and somebody said that. I don't know if it's true or if it was a joke. I don't know if it's true or if it was a joke, but I'm gonna have to hear. Yeah, it is funny. It's definitely funny. I want to hear that. I want to hear that for myself. I want to hear that. It would be. I don't think Anthony Joshua would have said that so soon. They're going to meet up again, aren't they?
Yeah, they got another press conference set. I think it's New York, and then they got London next week.
Yeah, they got two press conferences. So why would he bust that move immediately?
Well, he hasn't seen him where he's missed his belts, probably, innit? You know what I'm saying? Anthony Joshua's used to them, innit? It's funny because Anthony Joshua for the minute is saying the belts don't define me. I'm Anthony Joshua, but he's like, but bro, hey, listen, hey, but I'm used to my belt, shut up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is he the look? Yeah, no, he looked like Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua, because I know Joshua's usually a playful guy, but they've probably got him in a mindset like, bro, like you can't be joking around now, like come on, Josh, you got to take this seriously, like. And I remember when Tyson Fury was playing around when he kissed one of his opponents, and the next fight he came out and he was all serious and stuff like that.
Yeah.
These guys, it's you know what I mean. Josh was looking at him like giving him a proper stare down, but everyone knows, Josh, obviously you're staring him down, because of what happened, and ultimately it happens in the ring. But I think for the media, people were reading into. I see Eddie looking at Josh, go on, Josh, that's it, that's right, give him a stare down. But Ruiz was like, okay, But it was good. I think people were making out it was boring. I think it was good. I think, like you said, there's 3 more left. I think New York. I think when they come back to London, if they have an open crowd and that, that one should be nice. You know what I mean? That should be nice because. But we're seeing it. I liked it though. I liked it. What did people expect? And there was women there, and there was women there. That thing about women.
Yeah.
So that went out the window. So it was good.
I heard that women had to dress up as men. Is that true?
No. I know there's women there that were taking pictures with Anthony Joshua. There was women there. That thing that went out about all this thing is about it's one of the countries that people for war and stuff like that, dangerous countries in the world. All that is just propaganda. Propaganda is the thing that people use to demean people. You know what I mean? Anyone you do, you demean people first, and then you set that in your mind. So when you cause atrocities to them, then it's the kind of legal. So that was gone against the thing, and he had dispelled that. They looked fine. They're rich, bro. Look, you see the prince, prince of the country was there. I mean, it's like having this, right? Let me put it this way: it's like having the Prime Minister Boris Johnson sitting down in the next room next to the thing. I mean, that's huge, man. That is really huge for their country. and they're trying to build boxing in the country. And I like the idea that boxing is going to another country, and you never know from that region of you're gonna get another Nassim Hamid. You know what I mean? Amir Khan was there. You know, another world champion from these countries. I like it.
Yeah, 1 second. Brooklyn Child Boxing. Link in the chat, my friend. Link in the chat because I know you've been itching. I know you've been itching to get on. So link in the chat, my friend. Yeah. So I think that the vibe I got was that, well, just basic common sense. You what happened to Anthony Joshua? It's happened, and now he's got a chance of redemption. So I think it's basic human psychology. You haven't got to have a PhD in psychology to know that he's thinking to himself, yes, you little punk, watch this time. Watch this time. I know what my mind's now. I'm not distracted. I'm focused on you and only you. You know, yeah. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let us get it. You know what I'm saying? Let's get this shizzle. So I think that Joshua to me looked extremely determined, extremely focused, unlike last time. No messing about. He's there for business. He knows that big business going down. And yeah, man, he looks ready. Looks ready for the war.
100%, and he's always in 100% shape. And I always did say, you know, a guy who always keeps himself in tip-top shape is always. And never again, Ruiz is the champion, and you know, in name at the minute, yeah, he's the champion.
Yeah.
But you're never a true champion until you defend your belt, and
that's what I always say.
Really, truly, but the Ruiz is looking like, yo, I beat you once, I'll beat you again. But Hassan Ratman said that about Lennox Lewis. You know, he always shows the mark of a great guy, a great champion. And bear in mind, yeah, the heavyweight championship is not a foregone conclusion. There's not many guys who who actually get their belts back in them circumstances. Yes, in the modern time, you guys may think you're used to that. Lennox Lewis, right? Lennox Lewis won. But what about Vladimir Klitschko? You know what I'm saying? Vladimir Klitschko, you know, against Tyson Fury, that rematch never happened. AJ, you saw how he tried to get his belt back. It's not easy. Floyd Patterson was the first guy to get his heavyweight championship back. Ali done it 3 times. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But in history, it's very hard because you're dealing with people getting older, get wear and tear on the body, the amount of fights they had. But this fight is a fight that these guys are in their prime. So if Joshua can't get over the hill, what's next for Joshua? A lot of people said he should have took 2 knocks. You know, he still was the A side, but Joshua said, I want to go right back in there and give credit to Joshua. And Ruiz, listen, if Ruiz wins this fight, he'll be that guy. But I still got AJ winning the fight. I just do. You know what I mean? It's just hard pressed for me to see how AJ has so many ways of beating Ruiz. But Ruiz has one way. He needs AJ to be right in front of him and short range so he can get his shots off. If AJ keeps it long and doubles and triples the jab, should be all right. Not one jab, one jab and move. No, double, triple your jab, and then tie him up. Did you see what Vladimir did, to Samuel Peterson? If you look what Samuel Peterson, the first fight, right? When the man is doing, listen to this, right? Because I watched it today. Going into the fight, Vladimir Klitschko was knocked down, It was knocked down in the previous fight by Corey Sanders. When Emmanuel Stewart took over him, right? He lost in the main Brewster, but Emmanuel Stewart didn't implement his style. When they went against Samuel Peterson in that fight, Emmanuel Stewart had him sparring no less people than 100 rounds to build up his conditioning and his wear and his neck strength. That's what it takes. And Joshua, to be fair, if McCracken's got him doing something like that, then he should be okay. But you need that amount of rounds sparring. I'm talking about sparring. So sparring 100 rounds, at least minimum, to get you in that sort of shape that you can recover if you get hurt. You understand what I'm saying? Because you see, I don't know if they were doing that, but that's what it takes to be champion. Ali used to be 50 rounds regularly. That's what it takes for these guys to do that. So to build up the conditioning, the stamina, the recovery. You know what I'm saying? So if you do get hit, you can recover and come back. So you know what I mean? This is going to be interesting.
I remember. Yeah, I see you, Brooklyn Child. Bring you on in a second. I remember pre-fight. I remember pre-fight when before the fight, for the first fight, when an analysis was being done, and you know, I was on a panel and there was an analysis being done, and they said, "Well, what's Joshua got to do?" And this guy said he's got to keep it mid-range.
Mid-range? That's crazy. That's crazy, bro. That's where Ruiz is at, isn't it?
That's where Ruiz wants it.
Yeah, that's what Ruiz wants it.
Mid-range. And I just, I just shook my head and I just said, I said, well, I counted well. Joshua has to use his God-given attributes, which is length. And the geezer said, well, no, I mean that's for the amateurs. When you're a pro, when you turn pro, you got to get into, he's good at mid-range, so he's got to get into that mid-range. And, I just had to smile because that's complete and utter twaddle.
Yes.
Complete and utter twaddle.
Yeah.
Joshua has to use his God-given length. The mid-range is where Ruiz thrives.
Yes.
That's his home. That's his home. As the longer fighter, you got to stick and move, use the angles, turn your man. He's a big, heavy lump. So turning him early, that won't necessarily be easy, but you have to use, as Joshua, you got to use that length. And even then, it doesn't guarantee anything. All it does is it means that you optimize your chances of winning. You know what I'm saying? You optimize your chances. Hold on a second. Let me see what's going on here. Okay. So for the first time, man, it's the first time I've been using this thing. You click on a cut. Can you see your screen? Can you see your screen right now? EJ Boxing, can you see your screen?
Yeah, I can see my screen.
Oh yeah, so it's the first time I've used this feature where you click on the comments and it just comes up on your screen.
Yeah, I've been using that recently as well. It's very good. That what you do, I just click on each one as they come down and it stays on the screen. It's good though.
It's really nice.
Good. Yeah,
it's really nice.
It's better than the old one. It's better than the old feature, definitely. And you know what? It's worth it. The money I think you invest. It's actually probably worth it. But at the minute, because you get it for free, it's really good. It's really good. I enjoy it. For real.
I like it. These things are looking good. Okay. And so for the first time on Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio, we bring you live from America. I'm assuming New York.
Hey, what's going on, man?
His debut. And he goes by the name of Brooklyn Child. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you for having me on your platform. You know what I'm saying?
No problem, man. This is an open platform. We like different voices. We like people from different locations. We like international flavors.
For sure. You know what I mean?
I got family over there in Queens.
Okay. Now you know what it is like I'm born and raised in Brooklyn, but I actually currently live in California.
Oh, you're California. You switched over to the West Coast.
Yeah, I'm in the West Coast right now, but Brooklyn will always be in my heart. You know what I mean? So
yeah, man. Yeah, man. I got people in Brooklyn. Got people in Hollis, Queens, Jamaica, Queens.
My mother's actually I'm half Haitian.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For real.
Yeah, so that's why like when I listen to you speak, I'm like, yeah, he's definitely an Islander. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Jamaican descent, my friend. Jamaican.
Okay, that's what's up, man.
That's the Jamaican flavor coming through, my friend. You know what I'm saying?
No problem.
Okay.
I saw you was live, so you know what I mean. Decided to jump on the discussion. You know what I mean?
Of course. We've been due to get you on a previous time, but we were so hectic. It was so hectic, But we got you now. So
yeah, I'm here. I'm in the building, man.
Basically, we're just going along various subjects, and you just chip in with your opinions. The first thing we're talking about right now is: Did you see the press conference over in Saudi Arabia?
I did see the press conference, and I'll be honest with you. Like in this regard, I guess I'm gonna eat some crow because I actually did not think the fight would actually be happening in Saudi Arabia. But I'm wrong. It is what it is. For me though, hopefully, because I guess you could understand that maybe there could be some funny business going on.
What do you mean funny business?
What I mean like having the fight in Saudi Arabia in general, not having Andy Ruiz. Bringing Andy Ruiz all the way out there. I don't know. I in my personal opinion thought, okay, maybe there'll be some funny business going on, but hopefully we have a fair fight. Because this is why I was saying, like, this is why I did not care for the fight to be in Saudi Arabia. Because, like I said, Andy Ruiz, to my knowledge, have no relationship in Saudi Arabia. So, and it's all Eddie Hearn type of plan to do some other shit. You know what I mean? It's like, why are you trying to reinvent the wheel? It is what it is. Hopefully, we have a fair fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hopefully. No, that's all I can ask for. May the best man win. You know what I mean? May the best man win. I don't want, because I wouldn't want, because me, okay, I'm gonna put it like this. I'm rooting for Andy Ruiz.
Yeah.
Point blank and period. I'm rooting for Andy Ruiz. As far as for myself, I'm not really a fan of the matchroom machine.
Right.
Honestly, I'm rooting for Andy Ruiz, but at the same time, may the best man win. You know what I'm saying? May the best man win. But I think Andy Ruiz is gonna knock this fool out, though. That's how I see it. Andy Joshua was getting knocked out, man. Hey, can I say something, man? Salute to AJBXNG Live, man. He probably don't know me, man, but I've been listening to his content for years. You know what I'm saying? So salute to AJBXNG Live. I've been listening to your content for years, man.
Word.
I just started doing videos myself, like probably like I've been a year into it.
Yeah.
But, I guess right now, like people are starting to notice me a little bit. But yeah, man, as far as AJBXNG Live, I've been listening to that man's content for years. So salute to AJBXNG Live.
Wicked. EJ's here, man. He's gonna come back in a second. So, you didn't think you were one of the guys who thought that? Let me wear my off camera. You were one of the guys who thought that Eddie Hearn would not be able to enforce the Saudi Arabia.
I absolutely thought that. So
that was a big narrative. That was a big narrative over in America. The contract wasn't good. They won't be able to enforce it. They won't be able to get Andy Ruiz to go over to Saudi Arabia. But I was saying that how the heck Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing America, how the hell are they not going to put together a good contract for the man to sign? How the hell are they going to give him a leaky contract?
I mean, hey, listen, I guess listen, at the end of the day, I'm eating crow in that regard. Yeah. I was proven wrong. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Now the fight's here. I'm looking forward to seeing the fight. But I will say though, one of the reasons why, there's probably something you're not, because if I'm not mistaken, you in the UK, right?
That's right.
Okay, so one of the issues that I had with the fight being in Saudi Arabia is not because a lot of Americans, when they think of Saudi Arabia, they're thinking about terrorism and war, and that's something to think about. But for me personally, that wasn't really my train of thought. Now thinking about the actual fight and the time of the fight, what's going on is they are like, I put it like this. I'm in California, right? I'm in Pacific time.
Yeah.
As California and Saudi Arabia, that's a 10-hour difference.
Okay.
So when the fight's happening by the time when the fight's happening in Saudi Arabia that night, it's gonna be like early morning in the States.
Okay, so the fight's happening. I think the fight is gonna be televised in UK around 9 p.m. You are what? You 5 hours behind?
I believe I'm like 5 hours behind.
But it's 10:13 now, UK. What time is it over there?
Right, for me right now it's 2:13 p.m.
2:13 p.m. So that's what. Oh, so it's an 8-hour difference.
That's what I'm saying. So my thing is, why would you put a fight in Saudi Arabia? Because you're potentially losing a lot of viewers simply by having a fight in Saudi Arabia. So from a business standpoint, to me, it doesn't make the most sense. If the whole idea is for the zone to make headway in America, why would you put the fight in Saudi Arabia where the actual fight's going to be going on at like 11, possibly 11 o'clock in the morning in California?
If it's happening 9 o'clock over here, then and you're 8 hours difference. Nah, that you're behind us. You're 8 hours behind us. So
that's what I'm saying.
That's gonna be like, no, it ain't gonna be bad for you. It's gonna happen in the afternoon.
Oh yeah, but
1 p.m. in the afternoon for you guys on a Saturday.
Okay, but you gotta remember, there's college football going on. Boxing is not bigger than college football, point blank and period. In America, it's not. You know what I'm saying? And also, too, that's in December. That's the bowl season. You know what I mean? A lot of people's gonna be watching college football during these. That's the time for college football. So essentially, you're Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua. That the rematch is gonna be competing with major college football. To me, from a business standpoint, that doesn't make the most sense. But hey, listen, I'm gonna watch because I'm a hardcore boxing fan. I'm not into I've lost passion for football in general. I'm not into football as much. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to watch the fight. I'm going to watch it from start to finish, but that doesn't mean everybody else is. You know what I'm saying?
Well, hold on a second. So college football's on every week, yeah? During the season.
During the season, it's on every Saturday.
So wouldn't people prioritize something that only happens once this is the only time there's going to be Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz 2. It's a one-off occasion. So would people not prioritize that?
I'll be completely honest with you. It'll probably be a situation where people just rewatch it on YouTube. That's what I think will happen. They'll just wait for it to get on YouTube or watch the highlights or something. That's what I think is going to happen. Because there's major college football going on during that time. It's conference bowl season. You know what I'm saying? That's a big deal in America. So, I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, I'm going to watch.
Yeah.
But from a business standpoint, to me, it wasn't the most logical. Saudi Arabia is not the most logical place. It would have been best to have it in America. To me. That's my opinion. But hey, listen, I was wrong. I thought the fight was.
Hold on a second. They already had the first one in America. The second one should have been in the UK.
No, I disagree with that. I absolutely disagree with that.
So?
And Ruiz won. He won. You know what I'm saying? He won in a convincing fashion. I mean, the only reason why, they have all the because of contracts and shit, that's why they have all the leverage or whatever, or most of the leverage.
Hold on a second. Let me stop you there. Andy Ruiz won the first one. The first fight was in America.
No, he won. He dominated.
No, hold on.
Performance.
Yeah, hold on. The first fight, Anthony Joshua was the champ from the UK. He goes over to America and he fights in America. Okay. So what's the logical argument to say that, okay, I'm going to go to EJ Boxing on this one. You can come in a second. So EJ Boxing, what is the logical argument? What's the logical argument to say that the rematch should not be in the UK? That's the EJ Boxing.
The logical argument of why? Well, because obviously they feel like it's going to be unfair. They feel like it's going to be unfair. Really caught off guard. The logical reason why it shouldn't be is obviously Andy Ruiz the champion, and they probably feel like it's going to be unfair. So that's why they're in Saudi Arabia, right?
But listen, I'm gonna say this, man. The reason why the fight should be in America, should be back. Well, specifically, if it was in a perfect world, it would have made the most sense for that fight to be in Las Vegas. It's the biggest fight of the year. I'll admit that. Why wouldn't you have the biggest fight in a big primetime city like a Las Vegas? That's dumb to me. But listen, it is what it is. The fight's happening in Saudi Arabia. I'm gonna watch. You know what I'm saying?
But UK, but you see the thing is, yeah, in the UK, Wembley Stadium, prime time, Vladimir Klitschko thing. I understand that, yeah, it's the world sport. So wherever the sport's gonna draw the most money, that's where they're going in Saudi Arabia. But yeah, end of the day, the champion that they were haggling wearing when they won it. That's why if you look at Ali and George Foreman, they had to fight in Zaire. They thought, to build up another country. Zaire became the Congo later on. So so now they couldn't negotiate another fight somewhere that no one we really wanted, but it's happening where it's happening. And hey, listen, it's different. You can see like the whole press conference is different. Like, yo, well, you got the Prince there. You know what I'm saying? Even the whole set was different. You know what I'm saying? And they're building an outdoor stadium. Yo, when's the last time you seen an outdoor stadium? I think you used to see it back in the days in Las Vegas. Back in the day with Hagler and Hearns and them guys there. And listen to this, right? Listen, Saudi Arabia might be in one of the homes of boxing, because the UK is really built up. But hey, listen, and if you're a fan of boxing and you like to travel around the world, some rich people that you go to Saudi Arabia for a holiday, man, and go check out some boxing. So really, we can haggle about where it is and where it isn't. Then the bottom line is that no one's really happy, but the fight's happening in Saudi Arabia, and let's see what happens, man.
Okay, so yeah, good point, CJ. Hold on. So I want to address it to you. Brooklyn Child. So you understand on a logical basis, you have an away fixture and a home fixture. The American, Andy Ruiz, got the home fixture. After the home fixture comes the away fixture. So the away fixture would have been the UK. Does that concept work in America also? You play one game at home, and one game away?
Listen, but all that's irrelevant. All that's irrelevant because the whole idea was to plant a flag in the American market? Wasn't that the whole idea? There's like we can't compare boxing to the finals of like basketball or something. You can't compare. It's two totally different circumstances. Because for one, Andy Ruiz had absolutely no say. He was just supposed to be there to get his ass whooped. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have what say did he have?
Okay, so
negotiations. He was just a replacement opponent. He had no say on what's going on.
Okay, so he had no say, but then he was very vehement. Hold on, is somebody playing this in the background? Because I'm hearing myself. But anyway, so
I think I'm on mute.
Okay, so he was very all right.
Yeah,
so
it's me.
All right. Okay. Just mute yourself then, EJ, when you're not speaking, mate.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't mind. Thank you. So what was I saying? Okay. So Andy Ruiz, he vetoed coming to the UK. He vetoed that. He says, I ain't going. I'm not going to the UK. I don't know. I'm not going. And then they switched it. It's at that point that they switched it to Saudi Arabia. So you tell me, Brooklyn Child, where would you rather have the fight?
Las Vegas.
In the UK? No. In the UK or Saudi Arabia?
Either location. Honestly, it would have made the most sense, especially what I just mentioned earlier. It would have made the most sense for the fight to be in Las Vegas.
Hold on, Brooklyn Child. There's two options in the question. Where would you prefer to have the fight, in the UK or Saudi Arabia? Those were the options.
I don't like those options.
Well, clearly Andy Ruiz didn't like those options either.
I don't like those options. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but I mean, those are the options. Those are the options given to you. The contract is good. You found that out now. The contract is good. The contract is airtight, and you have a decision to make. The options are UK or Saudi Arabia.
Listen,
where would you prefer the fight to be of those two locations?
I need more options, bro.
Bro, those are the options. Those are the options.
All right, it's like if you taking a multiple choice test, you don't you get 4 options?
Oh, bro,
You know?
the zone gave him 2.
The zone gave him 2.
Sorry, Matchroom gave him 2. They said UK. He said no, and then that forced him into going to Saudi Arabia. But you're his manager. You're his manager. You're saying, hold on. Slow. Pump the brakes. What do you say? Do you say, actually, no, we prefer UK to Saudi, or we prefer Saudi to UK? What do you say? You're the manager in Andy Ruiz's camp. What do you say?
Listen, like I can't answer that question because we don't listen. At the end of the day, we're the way you make it seem like. You know what I'm saying? That, like, I'm sure there was other factors going into what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, if it was up to me, like, they should have known. The fight would have made more sense in a Las Vegas location. That would have made the most sense. That would have made the most sense. You know what I'm saying? So as far as choosing between UK or Saudi Arabia, listen, I'm gonna be difficult with you, bro. Neither location makes sense to me. You know what I mean? Hate to not answer your question, but it is what it is.
AJ Boxing, come in.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. You see what I'm trying to say to you. No, if you look at the locations, it don't make sense. Everyone's like, why are you going over there? But for boxing, in terms of growing the sport, and look, man, let me tell you something. Yeah, if you look at boxing in general, boxing is a world sport, man. It goes around the world. Yeah, like I mentioned, like, why not have it around? Like, I don't know, like back in the days, like, let's give an example. Mayweather, all of his fights were in Vegas. Yeah, it was great for Vegas. But bro, like Eddie Hearn and Joshua built up UK, London, Wales, and bringing it around. Now they bring it to New York. Now they're bringing it to Saudi Arabia. That's what boxing's about. Our sport is not just for one country. But why you're from America? I mean, what exactly you're supposed to say? Me and Raphie are from the UK. What do you think we're gonna say? You know what I'm saying?
Okay, no, but see, but see, this is my point. Anthony Joshua got dominated. He quit. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like some close competitive matchup. If it was a close competitive matchup, then okay, no problem. You know, if you want to put the fight in the UK, whatever. You know, he got dominated. The man got dominated. Why wouldn't you want to, like, he lost, he got dominated, bro. Like, I don't understand.
Hold on,
you know what I mean? So you get dominated, so you get to put the fight back in your safe haven?
All right, let's talk about boxing. Let's talk
boxing. I'm down with
boxing. All right, so let's go back to the fight then. So you obviously see something I didn't do. So did you see Ruiz on the floor? Yes or no?
Did I see Ruiz on the floor? Absolutely.
Okay, so what's dominating about him hitting the floor? The fight, when you say it was just dominate, when Ruiz got his chance, yeah, he dominated. When AJ had his chance, AJ put him on the floor, and AJ was dominating at that point. So what I'm saying is that the fight is what the fight is. Now you're talking about, was he mandatory? Did he earn the right to go fight AJ? Did he?
Did Andy Ruiz earn the shot?
Yeah, did he earn the right to fight AJ? By what he did, he lost to Joseph Parker, and he fought Derevchenko. Does that warrant him a fight against AJ?
I mean, he got the fight. I mean,
no.
Jarrell Miller to me didn't earn a shot at a championship.
Well, Jarrell is undefeated.
So, but Andy Ruiz fought better competition.
He lost against better competition, didn't he?
In my opinion, he lost. On paper, he lost. Yes, on paper, he lost.
Let's take opinion out of it, and let's talk about facts. He lost. And when he fought AJ, he got hit on the ground. When Ruiz got his chance, Ruiz put him down multiple times and won the championship. Now, in the negotiations coming into the fight, now they're the champion, right? So in the day, Ruiz took whatever AJ gave him. Now the negotiations wasn't going where they wanted it, so they neutral ground. So like I say, it goes back to, again, like, we can give our opinion, and you're entitled to your opinion. And it's opinion that many people share. But the fact of the matter is, yeah, the fight is where the fight is going to be. I'm sure by just listening to you, I'm sure you're picking Ruiz. Me, I'm going to pick AJ. And then we're going to see what happens. But this is...
facts.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the negotiations is what it is, man. When you're the champ, like when you're the champ or former champ, you put. Luckily, they put that in the negotiations that they can decide that, and that's what it is, man. It's not nothing we like, but that's boxing because boxing is prize fighting. You fight for the prize. Yeah, the belts are there, but you fight for the money. Ruiz didn't want to go where he saw what happened in the UK with Dylan White. He said, "I ain't going over there for whatever reason," and understandably so, right? The glove scandal, and it's all right. We'll take it somewhere else. And then he said, "All right, but I want more money." So, all right, we'll give you more money. There's no excuses now. You're gonna have to fight, and that's that.
I mean, listen.
Seems to me, yeah. Carry on, Brooklyn child.
My main point to that is I mean, listen. The fight in Saudi Arabia, it is what it is. I'm gonna watch the fight. I can't wait for the fight. But my question is, why wouldn't you want to fight in America again? Why wouldn't you want to bring the fight back to America? Like to me, that's odd.
I'll come in there. I think you Americans, you've been very entitled. Very entitled. I'll explain why. You get the fight. You get the blessing. You get the blessing. You get the blessing of the fight. Anthony Joshua didn't have to go over there, so you get blessed with a fight. You get blessed, and then Anthony, that should have been Jarrell Miller. Okay, so Jarrell Miller drops out. Luis Ortiz gets the next blessing. He doesn't take it. He pretends as if they tried to lowball him. Eddie Hearn threatened to expose them. And then, hold on a second. Eddie Hearn threatens to expose them. And then they come out to admit that it wasn't a lowball. Right. So the third. This is the third opponent now. The third guy is Andy Ruiz. Andreas Ponce Ruiz.
Why you saying his whole name?
Hold on. Andreas Ponce Ruiz. He's a third guy. Right. So Joshua gets in there, gets up, knocks Ruiz down, knocks the Ponce down once, rushes in because he was focused on your boy, Deontay Wilder. He was focused on him and what he just done to Dominic Breezel. I said on the live stream, I said, do not rush in after you knocked the Ponce down. I said, do not rush in. What does Joshua do? He rushes in because he knew that what Wilder had just done, and it was on his mind. He later on admitted that it was a schoolboy error. You need to fight your fight. Don't look at what's on the next man's plate. Never do that in life. Don't look on what's on the next man's plate. Stay in your own lane. Fight your fight. Do things the way you do things. He made a fundamental error. Went in, got clipped, and he paid for it. Got up 4 times. I don't think a quitter gets up 4 times. So those words from you, you're entitled to say them, but very, very harsh. A quitter doesn't get up 4 times from heavyweight punches. Okay, so got up 4 times. Hold on. You get a chance to rebut. Okay, so then that was the USA fight. The blessing. You got the blessing in the first place. And then you turn around and say the second fight should be in the US also. You don't think UK got fans? Do you not think that the UK has fans? You're talking about the money. You're talking about Las Vegas. You're talking about the money's over there. Well, allow me to counteract that, my friend. There's 90,000 people wanted to pay to see the fight over here. It's not all about the money. It is not all about the money. I'm talking about all the money over in the USA. But trust me, Trust me, they're getting paid over. They're getting paid over in Saudi Arabia. They're not hyping it. They're not hyping it, but they're getting paid over there, bro. They're getting paid over there. Brooklyn Child, come in.
Well, just to rebuke what you just said, like you said a quitter don't get up four times. You said
that's right.
A quitter don't get up four times, but shit, you know the last knockout, you walk into your corner. You walk into your corner. First of all, you're not supposed to turn your back in the sport of boxing. For one, you walk into your corner. You're looking at your trainer and all this shit. You know what I mean? You don't. He did not want to fight no more. So in my mind, he quit.
When did he not want to fight anymore?
He turned his back and walked into his corner.
What you mean in the
you know what I'm saying? Like if you in a schoolyard fight, you fighting and you turn your back trying to get out the alleyway.
You mean are you talking about the last time when he got up from the ground? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, he didn't want to fight no more, man.
Let me ask a question. Go on. All right. To me, quitting is when you lay down and don't get up. That's to me quitting, right? You lay down, don't go, right? Yeah. Well, in boxing, you lay down and go. Now he got up and he walked to the corner. Now maybe you say he shouldn't walk to the corner, but who's gonna stop him? He's big 6 foot something. That referee ain't gonna stop AJ do what he want to do. He walked to the corner. Now the referee said you want to continue, and his arms are in the corner. He said yes, but his arms are still on the ropes, right? The referee can say to him, "Oh, if you want to continue, why is your arms? Get your arms on the rope, go and fight." But the referee made a good decision at stopping the fight, right? But he said he wanted to fight, and he got up and he said he nodded his head, but his body language and his arms and ropes, he was keeping his arms at the ropes. He wanted to fight, but the referee read his body language and say maybe he didn't want to fight. But I wouldn't say he quit. I would say he was indecisive. I would say that. I wouldn't say he quit, because quit was when you lay on the ground. He kept getting up. Ruiz knocked him down, but he kept getting up. Now, I mean, really and truly, like a lot of people look into knockouts, right? Knockouts to me, right, is when you get knocked out and you do not get up. What happens to him? He got up. So what are you looking at is the man got up. Ruiz hits hard, yeah, but AJ wouldn't hit hard enough that AJ can get up, and AJ couldn't conduct himself in an orderly manner and have an interview, right? He did that. That's not a guy who quit. It's a guy that get me realized that this is a hard task. And boy, I wanted to fight him, but the referee made a quick decision, because it was like, well, boy, look, if you wanted to fight, you should be. But I wouldn't say he quit. I'd just say it was indecisive. You know what I mean? Or if you had a different referee, say, yo, get your arms up the rope. Like, let's say you had the Jack Ruiz, or you had a Steve Smoker. Go, do you want to fight? Do you want to fight? Yes. Get your arms off the rope, son. Let's go then. Let's go, right? But the referee looked at him, and we see his body language from a couple of knockdowns, and saw his body language, and said, no, not fighting. And Joshua straight with, what? What are you talking about? So if he wanted to quit, when he said that, his first reaction would be like, all right, cool. He wasn't like that. He looked at him, what are you talking about? Really? And then the referee goes, yeah. He goes, oh, shit. That's what he did. That's not a guy who quit, man. You know what I mean? People say that. That's just my opinion. You have your opinion, but that's what I saw, bro.
I mean, I'm going to say this. It's not just me saying he quit. Am I on mute?
No, you're talking.
My bad. It's not just me saying he quit. You have professional fighters saying he quit. So, don't just take my word for it. The professional fighters themselves, because they're the ones who they know all the psychologies of boxing. It was clear that he didn't want to be there no more, in my opinion.
Are you talking about fighters who've been hitting the head a lot, right? Is that the guys you're listening to? Because I haven't been hitting the head. I'm clear to see what happened. You know what I mean? I can clear to see. You know what I mean? After some fight, Matthew Macklin got beat by this guy called Sergey, was it Thingy Highlander, right? He got knocked down and knocked out in the first round. They gave him an interview. He goes, yeah, I was close. I was in the fight. I could almost turn it around. This guy was sprayed out on the canvas, yeah, and he had 4 teeth. They dropped out, and then when he got up to have an interview, they asked him, yeah, what happened? He goes, yeah, I was in the fight. I was close. I could have continued. Are you nuts? So I don't really listen to too much boxers. You know what I mean? They've been hitting the head. So I'm talking about, like, really, this is what we do. You know what I mean? Brooklyn, this is what we do. We sit and analyze stuff, and what I saw is what I saw, and that it's opinion, right? But you right to your opinion, but I'm not relying on no one else. This is what my own 2 little eyes saw. That a man who was indecisive, but I didn't see a man who quit, bro. I just didn't see it. You know what I mean? That's just You know what I mean? Like the Nicholas Waters, right? Roberto Duran. I can go there. They quit now. No man,
Yeah.
for his arm, turned his
no
back.
mass.
Yeah.
If Joshua had turned around and said no mass, we all know what that means. No more, then that's a quit. What I saw was a guy who kept on getting knocked down and kept on getting up. That is not the definition of quit, my friend. That is not the definition of quit. But anyway, we covered that. We got each person's opinions. And now we're looking at, let me get my topic sheet. Okay, so I guess at this stage, we're gonna have to be looking at what we think is going to happen next. How do we think the fight's gonna play out? First of all, I'm gonna go to the actual fight, December the 7th. First of all, I'm gonna go to EJ Box. Well, first of all, no. As a matter of fact, let me just go into the chat. Do I need to go into the chat? Not really, because these things are coming up on the live on the screen. But okay, I'll just quickly go through. Yeah, I just seen John Dealey's post, which said exactly the same thing I just said. Getting up 4 times isn't quitting. Okay, so that's John Dealey. Boxing Librarian is up in the building. What does he say? A fight announced and 3 months of these Wilder fans spewing. Okay, so we got John Dealey in the house. Boxing Librarian in the house. Who else is new? Dr. Wooduk in the house. Vincent Grant, a name I don't recall seeing here previously. Welcome, Vincent Grant. I've already mentioned Joe 56984. Pablo Diablo. Anybody else I hadn't mentioned before? No, I think that is it. So, okay, we're going to current times. We're going to present times. The fight's made now. I don't think he quit. EJ doesn't think he quit. Brooklyn Child, you think he quit. Okay, that's fine. That's an opinion. Cool. So, the fight's now made. December the 7th. Saudi Arabia. Diriyah. Going forward, how do we see the Ruiz versus Joshua 2 playing out? And to that, I'm going first to EJ Boxing.
The fight in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah.
Well, I see Joshua winning the fight and winning it on the decision, winning it on the cards, you know. I think if you're gonna beat Ruiz, that's the way you should be.
What's that last part?
I don't know what's going on with Mike. I'm getting some. I don't know, got some feedback, son. But yeah, I think Joshua's gonna win the fight by points.
Yeah.
I think he wins clearly on the cards. I think that's the way you got to fight Ruiz. I think you kind of, you know, Ruiz is a brawler. He likes to fight, and you just don't think. I see, you know, when you get closer, do not fight with him inside. Do not try and throw hooks inside with him. I know he knocked him down, but you know, if you want. But the thing is, if you keep it that way, it's going to be a tight fight. So I think that's the way you want to do. You want to kind of long it out and bring the fight down into 9th and 10th, 11th. Ruiz is going to be there. You know what I mean? He's going to be there. But
yeah.
End of the day, that's what you want. If you get in close, just don't fight with him in close. Just tie him up and make it a wrestling fest. You know, you should bring a wrestler in to get used to tying up guys.
100%. I said this from the start. You need, let me explain even further. There's different types of wrestling. There is the Greco-Roman type of wrestling. Now, you probably never heard of Greco-Roman, but what that is, it's a stand-up grappling thing and then a hip toss. But I've been saying from day one that Joshua, even before this fight, even before the last fight, I've been saying from day one of the drills you do in MMA, is you just stand up and you grapple standing up. You just grapple, you just move hands. You tie the person up, you're just standing up, body against body weight against body weight, and you're tying up. Listen, listen, we're not some super duper trainers, but sometimes there is wisdom in simple thought. I've been thinking for the longest time that Joshua needs somebody in his camp. Does Joshua have anybody in his camp to teach him about grappling, stand-up grappling? Has it even been a thought to get a stand-up grappler in there? Has it even been a thought? I've been thinking this for the longest time.
Yeah, but we study boxing. I don't think that these guys did understand.
They don't know
nutrition and stuff. Like when I train the amateurs, I wrestle with them. I wrestle and show. I watch them guys like back in the days, Gentleman Jill Corbett. It's on YouTube, right? Because they used to go like 50, 60, 70 rounds, and what they did to because they done that.
Who did you just mention? Who did you just mention?
Gentleman Jim Corbett.
Yeah.
Right, and it's even on YouTube, and I use the strategies when I do the amateurs, and they're like, "What are you doing, coach?" I go, "Well, listen, the fight there's infighting and there's wrestling. What you do, I tell them how to tie up and tie up and hit with one hand, and I tell them to tie up and don't want to hit. So they control inside. So I said, if you don't want to fight, just tie both his arms up, and I show them how to tie them up behind the back of the elbow because you see the elbow big, so you tie them up behind the back of the elbow. When they try to pull out, they can't get out, and also what it does, it drains the fight out. Because they're frustrated, like, what's my arm here? I want to get my arm out. Automatically, they pull out. While they're trying to pull out, they're taking the energy out. When the time they break, the referee says break comes in, they're breathing, like, yo, and I tell my fighter to go to the body straight away. And like, yo, and so you're wearing them out, right? So these tactics you learn inside fighting. That's just tying them up when you decide. You see Vladimir Klitschko, like I said, against Samuel Peterson, when Manuel Stood brought him, he taught him exactly that, tying him up, holding him, lean on him. Let exclusions do it as well, lean on him. That's what Joshua needs to do. Lean on him, tire him out. Ruiz knew that, right? Ruiz knew that, but where Joshua went wrong is when Joshua just tried to fight him inside. That's where he went wrong. He's trying to do it. Yeah, but the thing is, he did it with Vladimir and caught Vladimir with the uppercut, right? So it worked then, medium range. But with Ruiz, like, yo, that's the worst thing you ever do. But let's go back again. I always said Joshua got him on short notice. He did not prepare. So now he's coming in prepared. A prepared Joshua should beat Ruiz. That's what I'm saying to you. That's the way I see it.
Yeah. So over to just before I go to Brooklyn Child, I really want to know, because it's been a question on my mind for some time. Does Joshua have anybody in his camp who teaches him about it? McCracken doesn't do it. It ain't McCracken teaches him about stand-up grappling in boxing, because it's an art. It's an art. And it's an art which he needs to acquire. Anyway, I'm not going to harp on that. It's a gripe with me. It's a gripe with me how I don't see him doing grappling adapted for boxing. It's a big gripe. Big gripe. Anyway, we could be on that for a long time. So anyway, Brooklyn Child, come in. The question is, how do you see Andy Ruiz Jr. versus Joshua 2 playing out?
First off, I want to go back to what you said about the grappling. Now, my question is in the UK, with the trainers out in the UK, are there anybody that could teach that form of boxing, grappling, holding, how to clinch, this type of tactics? Is that like that? It seemed like he has nobody in his team that's going to teach him that. It seemed like throughout his career, that's something that he's not done. So can you implement that type of game plan? Can you master that type of that art form in what, a few months?
I can answer the question. I'll come straight back to you. Okay, so there is ample amount of people who can teach him about grappling, stand-up grappling. Ample amount of people. And even not just within boxing, but within MMA. There are ample. Listen, when I first started doing mixed martial jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, there were few clubs in the country. Yeah, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, one of the ground arts, one of the ground components of mixed martial arts. They used to call it Vale Tudo back in the day. Portuguese for anything goes.
Okay.
When I first started doing that in the UK, there was just a handful of clubs. We're going back probably 15 years. Yeah. And then slowly but surely, the clubs grew, mixed martial arts grew. And to now, there is not a town in the country that doesn't have some type of mixed martial arts facilities. You throw a stone in any direction and you will find a jiu-jitsu dojo or mixed martial arts school. So when you ask me the question, is there anybody who could do it, bro? There are people all over the country who could do it. You know what I'm saying? I could do it. You know what I'm saying? I could do it. There's people all over who could do it. Now, it gripes me. It hurts my soul that it seems as if that has not been addressed.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this now. Now listen, I've never practiced jujitsu or anything like that, so I don't want to sound ignorant. But how or just grappling in general. I haven't practiced these forms of fighting. But see, my question is, how can you implement, or how can you get maybe some sort of wrestling coach or jujitsu practitioner to implement grappling, that they what they know about grappling into boxing? I mean, in these other sports, I mean, these other combat sports, they don't have gloves on. You know what I mean? Like they can use their
They
full
have
strength.
gloves on in mixed martial arts. They have gloves on in mixed martial arts.
No, but their gloves are different though. That's what I'm saying.
You're asking me, can it work with boxing gloves?
Okay, now I'm gonna say this though. I'm gonna say this.
Is that your question? Can it work with boxing? Is that your question? Can it work with boxing gloves?
Yeah, is it applicable in boxing?
Bro, that's what we're talking about, bro. We're talking about grappling, which is applicable to boxing.
Okay.
Boxing in its infant stage has wrestling in it. Now, when we're talking we're not talking about MMA gloves now. I know Raphie has mentioned MMA. No, I'm talking about the boxing gloves, man.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's applicable in boxing. And not only is it applicable in boxing, boxers do it. Boxers do it. Who's a good example of inside? Lennox Lewis did it. Lennox Lewis did it. It tie you up on one side.
Yeah.
It literally tie your hand up. It literally tie your hand up, loop his arm around your arm, and now you only work with one arm. So we're not saying.
Yeah, Hopkins did it. Yeah.
Bernard Hopkins. We're not saying do something which hasn't been done before. We're saying implement something which has been done before.
That's true. Okay, now what I'm gonna say is this: can that be implemented in by December 7th?
Yeah. It doesn't take that long, right? I go back to where it was used. Evander Holyfield used it against Mike Tyson. That's where Evander Holyfield got the better of Mike Tyson in the first fight, but obviously he didn't like it in fighting, right? But what I'm saying, he initialized it, because Tyson in that medium range, he throws a lot of combinations. That's why he's devastating, right? Because he's quick. But if you tie him up, he can't use his movement. So that's what Evander Holyfield tied him up with one arm, was hitting the other, and Mike was like, "What the frick's this?" You know what I mean? Like Mike wasn't trained for that. So what we're saying is that it doesn't take that long. Like with my amateur fighters, yeah, because I know a lot of them, they usually get into the thing where head clash and stuff like that. So you have to teach them in all sports, up close in fighting, wrestling, medium range, long range, and then I also teach them ghost defense, where they move the ring, like they move around. Like you see how Parnell and Willie Pep, they use the thing. So you use all ranges of fighters, because I like defense in it. So to use it, but yeah, it doesn't take that long. But what we're talking about is that the coaches, yeah, like me and Raph could go down there and teach Andy Joshua. But end of the day, them man there are thinking they're nice. You know what I mean? A lot of guys think they know it all. I don't know how many boxing people he has, and there's no Manuel Stewart around there. If the Manuel Stewart was around, I guarantee Joshua probably would have looked at him. Jonathan Banks is around. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if Jonathan Banks teaches that. So there's loads of guys he can learn from. But are they going to implement that? I think they're just going to try and keep it long and try and keep the thing. But the fight is going to get in close quarters. And that's where you're talking about, where Ruiz wins the fight. I mean, from your side of you shouldn't want Joshua to learn that stuff. That's what me and Raph are saying. That Joshua should learn that. You know what I'm saying?
He can learn. He can learn whatever. He can learn whatever he want to learn. But at the same time, Anthony Joshua's still gonna get his ass kicked, man. I mean, he can learn whatever he wants, man. But like, I'm gonna put it like this. I didn't do a video on the first fight, but as soon as they announced Andy Ruiz, and I'm being dead ass serious. As soon as they said Andy Ruiz, I'm like, okay. The first thing that came to my mind was, whoa, that's a way better fight than Jarrell Miller. Because honestly, I didn't think Jarrell Miller had a chance against Anthony Joshua. Just thinking about the fight in my head, I didn't think he had a chance. But Andy Ruiz, I knew Anthony Joshua would have issues with that hand speed because that's just something that like not too much fighters are gonna see on a consistent basis, especially at heavyweight.
I agree with you on that. I've got videos saying that Andy Ruiz is going to be a handful. I agree with you on that.
People, I remember people were saying, "Oh, Anthony Joshua is going to dominate Andy Ruiz within the first two." I'm thinking to myself, "What the hell? Have y'all not seen Andy Ruiz fight before?"
That's what I was saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how can you envision this fight in your head? You see, the problem is people just get caught up with people get too caught up in Andy Ruiz's physique.
Yeah,
that they think he can't fight.
That's true.
The man is an excellent fighter.
He is.
You know what I mean? Shit, I remember when people were saying, "Oh, Dylan White's a top 5." Because me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of Dylan White. I don't think that highly of him personally. But I remember people saying Dylan White's a top 5 heavyweight. I think to myself, is he even better than Andy Ruiz? And I said this months ago, way before the fight happened. You know what I'm saying? So I always thought highly of Andy Ruiz. Now, as far as the rematch goes, listen,
Dylan White's top 5, but carry on.
I don't think he's top 5, but that's just that. I mean, we're gonna agree to disagree. But as far as the actual fight, the things that Anthony Joshua needs to implement into the next fight, I don't think he'll be able to. Maybe he could. Okay, when it comes to grappling, maybe fighting in a longer and long range. Because to be honest with you, that should be the strategy of Anthony Joshua, to keep the fight long, keep Andy Ruiz at the end of his jab. If he gets up close, properly clinch him and all that, grapple him a little bit. But my thing is, can you implement that? Can you implement that in the actual fight? I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think you can implement that style or those tactics.
Why not?
Huh?
Why not?
Because Anthony Joshua has fought a certain way for his whole career.
How long's the training camp?
A training camp's what, 8 weeks?
No.
8-10 weeks?
No. A championship training camp is at least 12 weeks, yeah? So
not for everybody.
Well, okay, listen. Okay. In this case, a championship, Anthony Joshua training camp is 12 weeks, which is 3 months. Yeah. They've been training now for at least 4 months. Yeah, at least 4 months. In reality, he only had a little bit of time off and then he went straight back to training. So realistically, they've been training now for at least 4.5 months. Patterns, you don't know about the grappling. Let me tell you about the grappling. Grappling patterns can be formed in a matter of sessions, not weeks or months. You can learn basic stand-up grappling in a matter of sessions. Okay, so let's say a week. Let's say it takes a week to learn a couple of grappling techniques. And let's say you have 3 months to implement them in sparring. My answer to you is yes, you can acquire stand-up grappling skills over the course of 4.5 months.
Okay. See, my question is, Anthony Joshua has been fighting. He started boxing. He's been boxing for what, 10 years or so?
Yeah, I guess so.
And he's never learned this yet in 10 years.
Bro, listen. People can acquire skills. That's why the term exists. Skill acquisition. Acquiring skills. And we're not talking about no super duper skills either. We're talking about basic, simple skills.
Okay, I mean, well, I'll put it like this. I wish Anthony Joshua luck in implementing these totally foreign aspects of boxing that he's not used to. And I'm curious if he can implement that in the rematch. I don't think he's going to be able to do it.
But bro, you're not qualified to speak on it since you don't know about it.
No. I mean, okay, you can say I'm not qualified. No, this is what I'm saying. If he learns these new tactics, okay. So basically, are you saying Anthony Joshua, the key for Anthony Joshua to win this rematch is to apply to learn to grapple and hold and clinch and all that. Is that a major factor for him to win this fight?
I'm not saying that's the key. I'm saying if he implements such tactics, then it will be an asset.
That's true.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I agree with that. But my thing is, I don't think in the actual fight, I don't think he'll be able to use those tactics, because at the end of the day, once the fists start flying, he's gonna go back to what he knows. In my opinion, it's a muscle memory thing. It's not gonna be like, oh, okay, I learned this new tactics. Okay, I'm gonna implement the fight. That could be his mindset. But when the fists start flying, because you know what Mike Tyson says, once the game plan is gone, once you get hit.
He said everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face.
Exactly.
So you're saying to me that Anthony Joshua is not getting punched in the face in training? Is that what you're saying to me?
Of course, he definitely been getting punched in the face, because with the rumors he's getting knocked out.
It comes to
he's definitely been punched in the face.
It comes to me, that like a lot of stuff you're saying, like about Ruiz and this. Let me ask you a question: when Ruiz loses, are you gonna feel that way about him? Because like he's gonna lose, right? And he's gonna disappear.
When he loses?
Yeah, when?
Okay. When he loses, okay.
Yeah, because all this stuff before, because no one was saying this stuff before, and I will illustrate this again. He got him on short notice, and he did pulled off a great feat. But now let's see if we can do it again with Joshua. Comes in with a game plan and a strategy towards him, which he obviously didn't realize that how hard this was going. He's underestimated, man. That's underestimated.
I don't think you underestimated Andy Ruiz.
I don't think
so. Of course you underestimated him.
How do you underestimate him?
I think why? Because he was short notice, bro.
Sorry.
It was short notice. You can't tell me, right? They had an extensive training camp and they prepared for Ruiz. They were preparing for Big Baby Miller. He was all G'd up for Miller. You see in the press conference, the pushing, man says like about his mom. Bro, people in the UK wanted AJ to whoop Big Bailey's after the stuff he said about AJ's mom and relative. We was on it, bro. Everyone was turned up. Now, when it didn't happen, AJ relaxed, gave the man my belts. I'm just happy that you're there as a replacement. You underestimated stuff you're talking about.
Don't forget Ortiz in the middle.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You're not factoring all this stuff in. When AJ comes, I'll take you an example, right? Look at Povetkin and look at Ruiz. They're both similar. They both hit very hard and they're short. Look how AJ handled him on a prepared. When he was prepared and he knew what to do, right? Now you have to understand, AJ's a guy who studies his opponents. They study, go over the game plan, and time again. And Ruiz, he underestimated it and he didn't study. And he was like, shit. You know what I mean? He realized that, and that comes into indecisiveness in the corner. That he goes, where did I get hit? What do I need to do? That's the stuff that all he's like, because he didn't have no answers. You've never seen that in the corner where AJ's in the corner is like, what do I have to do? Because he's never been himself, because they're prepared and they wasn't ready. Like people say AJ's like a computer. He literally is. You program the information in him and he goes out and does it. That's what happens. No, it's whether excuse or whatever you. But at the end of the day, you're talking on what you feel AJ is like. I'm talking about what a fact, what happened. He was short notice.
Hold on a second.
It was short notice for Andy Ruiz as well.
Hold on a second.
It was, but Andy Ruiz,
Hold on a second. Everybody, hold on a second. Everybody's going to get a chance to speak. How can you say that going from Big Belly Miller to Ortiz that's Luis Ortiz, to my man there, Andreas the Pants Ruiz, how can you say it's an excuse that he wasn't totally focused on Ruiz the way he was focused on Big Belly Miller? How can you say that's an excuse? That's just basic common sense. It's logical.
No, it's not.
Carry on.
Listen. I'm gonna say this. First off, like to say that was, he took him for granted. I mean, not took him for granted, or to say that he took him lightly and all that. That's an excuse. because at the end of the day, the whole this is his first fight in America. You as a competitor, you fighting in a new market, you want to show what you got. This isn't no that's nonsense. That's nonsense. Look at Deontay Wilder, for example. You think Deontay Wilder hasn't had replacement opponents? You saw what he did to his replacement opponents. He knocked them out.
When was the last time? When was the last time he had a replacement? When was the last time Deontay Wilder had a replacement opponent?
Bermane Stiverne. And you saw what happened to Bermane Stiverne, right?
Who was Bermane Stiverne replacing?
He was supposed to fight Luis Ortiz that night. You remember? People forget that.
Hey, go back. Let me ask you a question. Did Deontay Wilder fought him already?
He fought him already, yes.
So if he fought him already, that's not a replacement.
Okay, that's okay.
Name another
Ron Washington was a replacement opponent too, right?
Who from who? For who?
He was supposed to fight. Oh, damn, I forgot the dude's name. He got popped though. He got popped.
You're talking about Povetkin.
No.
Oh, that's another example. Povetkin was a replacement.
Hold on. When you talking about replacement, right? You have to factor in that fight was in Russia. So did Deontay Wilder fight in Russia?
No.
So how that replacement when the fight was in another venue and he had a chance to build up another camp again?
Yeah, that was a replacement.
Of course, that replacement because he was training for
a replacement is the same venue with a different opponent. You had a different. That's never happened. Deontay Wilder never happened.
No.
In the same time scale. In the same time scale.
No.
That's not a replacement. No, it is. He changed the opponent there at a different venue. No. We're talking about
a different time.
The same venue, right? The same venue. And remember, you have an extended long. You have you might see his excuses. I'm telling you the fact is a fact, right? And I can tell you another one as well, right? Where Eddie Hearn messed up as well with the Takam. He was supposed to fight Pulev, right? And then they brought Takam in, and that was one of Josh's worst fights as well. Takam looked like he was going to go the distance, right? And Joshua struggled against him, right? And that's what this is Eddie Hearn now making badly because remember the numbers. You sell out the numbers where you are in Cardiff, and you're like you don't want to give back the tickets. You sell out the numbers in New York. You're like, yo, Joshua, just stay in New York, go Miami, chill out, come back. We'll find your opponent.
Listen, man.
Yeah, when he saw that big fat belly of Ruiz, bro, that didn't motivate him. That never motivated him, bro. That never motivated him.
Bro.
Yo, we talk about excuses, right? But the bottom line is
excuses, man. Y'all making excuses for the man, bro. He got his ass kicked, man.
Logic. We're talking about logic.
This is excuses, man.
Yo, excuse is something you made up. This is fact. I'm talking.
This is not fact. This is excuses, man. He has to perform. What y'all talking about?
Where did I go wrong though? Where have I said is not true?
How can listen? You can whatever you saying. You can say it's true or not. Anthony Joshua's responsibility to come in ready to fight.
He was ready to fight. He wasn't. He was
ready to fight and perform.
He performed. He knocked him down. He didn't knock him down.
He got knocked out and he got finished.
He got knocked down. He got knocked down.
He got knocked down. At no point did he get knocked out.
You know what I'm saying? Like y'all making excuses, bro.
Please, just let's stick to logic. Let's stick to
logic.
This is
not logic. Y'all making excuses
from emotion. You are speaking from emotion, my friend.
Listen, because y'all not letting me speak. Listen, bro. Listen. Y'all talking like you say. Y'all saying, a replacement opponent and all this other shit. Bro, that's bullshit, man. That's bullshit, man. It's Anthony Joshua's responsibility. He's supposed to come in here.
We're trying to get clean over here.
I'm sorry. My apologies.
All right.
My apologies.
All right.
Anthony Joshua was supposed to make his mark in the American market.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is what he was supposed to do.
Yeah.
He fights Andy Ruiz and he gets dominated. You know what I'm saying? Like to have these excuses for the man. He's fighting in a different country. He was preparing for Jarrell Miller.
Those are not excuses.
All this stuff. Like, bro, that's excuses, man.
So, listen, you need to understand, my friend. You need to be able to differentiate between an excuse and the fact.
Okay, I'll tell you a fact. Andy Ruiz
Tell me a fact. Tell me a fact.
Andy Ruiz dominated Anthony Joshua.
I'll give you a fact. Anthony Joshua knocked down Andy Ruiz. That's a fact.
And I'll give you another fact.
All right.
Anthony Joshua was bending the knee 4 times. That's a fact too.
I'll give you another fact. Anthony Joshua controlled the negotiations. How about that?
Hey, I'll give you another fact. I'll give you another fact.
Right.
Andy Ruiz is the champion. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day.
I'll give you another fact. Anthony Joshua's getting paid more than him. How about that?
I don't care about that, bro.
How about that?
I don't care about that. That's nonsense. I don't care about money, man. I don't care about money, man. I don't care about money.
You don't care about you keep bringing it. I'll keep bringing it. Anthony Joshua, sells out the 90,000 stadium. How about that fact? How about this?
Okay, I'll give you another fact. I'll give you another fact.
Yeah.
The one time Anthony Joshua came to America, he got his butt whooped. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact too.
Let me come with a fact. I'll give you another fact. Andreas the Punch Ruiz was scared to come to the UK. How about that? Anthony Joshua went to the US of A, but Andreas the Punch Ruiz was scared to come to the UK.
Listen, okay, I'll give you another fact.
That's a big fact.
I'll give you another fact.
Deal with that fact. Talk to me about that fact.
No. I'll give you another fact. Andy Ruiz went to another man's country, and arguably, he's like, okay, he went to another man's country and put on. He lost, but he put on a valiant effort, and in the mind of now, from an opinion standpoint. In my opinion,
that's what you've been doing.
Andy Ruiz won that fight. But you didn't go to another country and get knocked all over the ring, bro.
You know what? I should call you Mr. Opinion because that's what we're doing here. Now we're gonna talk Mr. Facts out here. The fact of the matter is, your guy, he gonna lose, right? He gonna lose royally. He gonna take his big belly and go home to his new house and his new car. That's what's gonna happen. And you're gonna happen. And the wilder fight gonna happen because Ruiz ain't defending them belts. He ain't doing it, right? And Joshua gonna beat him. And now we're talking about what's gonna happen, and you're seeing what happened. The bottom line is that you don't like Anthony Joshua, and I already come to the conclusion. You don't give him no respect, right? And then
I give him respect.
No, you don't.
You're wrong. I give him respect.
Well, I ain't seen no respect out to you, bro. I ain't seen no respect out to you towards Joshua. You've been writing him off, and that's okay. You've been writing him off, and that's okay. That's okay because the fight is actually going to happen. The fight that Andy Ruiz tried to squirrel out of. I'll give you another fact. Andy Ruiz tried to squirrel out of the contract. Come on, let's have some courtesy here. Andy Ruiz was talking some big shot talk. Talking about how he's not going to fight for less than 50 million. Talking about how I'm the A side now. We call the shots. We call the shots now. Yeah. That's the big talk that Andy Ruiz was coming out with. Andy Ruiz has been living like some kind of big shot, driving around in Rolls Royces, buying mansions, buying this, that, and the other. Yeah, he's not focused, bro. He's not focused. Yeah,
nonsense.
Which was the Rocky 2? Which was that Rocky when Rocky got kind of comfortable? Which Rocky was that? I only watched the first one.
That was Rocky. That was Rocky 3.
Yeah. Well. Andrew Ruiz went from Rocky 1 to Rocky 3 in a matter of months, bro. Listen. Andy Ruiz has been talking recklessly. Yeah, he's been talking recklessly. He lost the humble Andy. Where is the humble Andy? Yeah, and you see that humility. Hold on, that humility that he lost. That's gonna come back and bite him on the ass.
Okay.
Hold on a second. One second. I think I got somebody waiting called Phil Walker. Phil Walker, we're gonna get to you. Just write some things in the chat. Interact with the people. We're gonna get to you shortly. But in the meantime, write some things in the chat. Talk to the people. Share your opinions in the chat until we get to you. Phil Walker, I see you. Okay. Brooklyn Child Boxing. Over to you.
Listen, I gotta go back to what you just said as far as me not giving respect to Anthony Joshua some sort. Listen, bro, I'm not gonna sip on the Anthony. I'm not gonna drink the Anthony Joshua Kool-Aid. You know what I'm saying? I don't really do that for any fighter for the most part. The way y'all praise Anthony Joshua, I'm not gonna do that to Anthony Joshua, bro. He gets enough praise. You know what I'm saying? Now let's talk about the fight. In my opinion. Now, no. Matter of fact, before I talk about the fight, as far as me praising, I'm not, like I said, I'm not gonna be, I'm not gonna be sipping on the Anthony Joshua Kool-Aid. Like just because I'm not sipping on the Kool-Aid or whatever doesn't mean I don't respect him. I respect Anthony Joshua because he's a fighter. He gets in there. He's accomplished a good deal. So I respect him in that regard. That's it. Now it's time to fight. And when the fight actually happens, Anthony Joshua is going to get his ass. Sorry. He's going to get his butt whooped.
You can say us. You can say us. You can say
us. This is how I see the fight. I don't think Anthony Joshua will be able to make the necessary adjustments when the rematch happens. He may be trying to he gonna try to implement the jab, implement more of an effective jab in the next fight. Maybe he's gonna try to grapple. Maybe he's gonna get Hulk Hogan to teach him how to wrestle. I don't know what he's gonna do. But what I will say is when the bell rings and Andy Ruiz, when the fists are flying, he's gonna resort back to what he usually does, and he's gonna get knocked out again.
Let me ask you a question. Brooklyn. Coming into the fight, who did you pick to win the fight? Honestly.
All right, this is gonna be kind of weird to say, but I thought Anthony Joshua will get the decision, but it will be like a decision like most people would think. But I thought Anthony Joshua was gonna win a decision.
No. Did you think Anthony Joshua was gonna win the fight? Yes or no?
No.
You're honestly telling everyone now that you thought Andy Ruiz was gonna win the fight?
No. I thought Joshua was gonna get the decision.
No. So you got with however, you had Joshua winning the fight, didn't you? Yeah.
I had Joshua winning the fight. Yes.
Okay. So now after the fact, now you're piling on the loser, right? Like most people do. That's what you're doing, right?
No.
Yeah, you did. That's what you are. Because you know why? Yeah, you are. Because beforehand, you weren't saying this beforehand, was you? Were you saying this stuff? Were you talking reckless like you're talking now before the fight? Before when the fight was made?
Was I talking reckless?
Yeah, because you were talking reckless, you know. You're talking reckless.
No.
Right?
Before the fight, let me defend myself. Before the fight, the first thing that when Andy Ruiz was the new opponent, I said in my mind, this is going to be an interesting fight. Yeah. I didn't do a video on it, so I don't have the receipt, but this is what I'm telling you. I thought Andy Ruiz.
Go ahead. I know you didn't go no video in it. So what we're dealing with right now is people before the fact, and even me as well. I put my hand up. I had Joshua winning the fight, but what the stuff you're saying now is what most people say. But when it comes down to breaking it down in facts, that the bottom line is this: that like the stuff I outlined already. You don't want to hear that, and you're saying these excuses. But these are the facts coming into the fight, and you have to bear them in mind or not, which you're choosing not to, understandably. But what I'm saying to you is this: the stuff you're saying is what everyone else is saying who don't understand in the circumstances of what happened, right? The circumstances are he knocked him down. You said dominated. Dominated to me is when you win him every round. Lomachenko, that never happened to me. It never happened in that fight. He got knocked down. That's what I saw. Then you saw a guy going for the kill to finish him off and then get caught. Right? That's what I saw. Right? That's what I saw. Right? So dominating to me, that's not dominating. Then you saw a guy walk to the corner, right? And the referee asked him a question, having a dialogue. Said, "Do you want to continue?" He said, "Yeah." But his arms on the rope. The indecisiveness. That's what I saw. Now now the negotiations. Now we're in Saudi Arabia where we don't like. These are the facts of going into the fight. Now you picked a side. It's on record. So let's see when Ruiz loses. Let's see if you come back and see what happens.
Of course, I'm gonna come back.
Right.
I've eaten my crow since I've been doing videos. I've had fights wrong, and I'm still here. I'm not going nowhere. I mean, at the end of the day, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in the fight. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you acknowledge. Oh, sorry. Have you answered the question about who you think is going to win the second fight and how?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh no, I seriously feel that as far as the fight goes, at the end of the day, y'all can say, oh, it's a replacement opponent. You know what I mean? Y'all can say, oh, you know, he had things like whatever excuses y'all want to make, whatever facts y'all want to come to, y'all want to put to the table. The fact of the matter is, I don't think Anthony Joshua can deal with Andy Ruiz's hand speed. I don't think that's going to happen. I think with the way Anthony Joshua is going to resort to fighting the way he fights. And that plays in my opinion, that plays into Andy Ruiz's hands. Anthony Joshua doesn't fight on the long range. Now, things could change. Things could change in the rematch. You know, maybe he'll put together a Klitschko style of performance, possibly. But I have to base Anthony Joshua off of what I've seen. Anthony Joshua is an excellent mid-range fighter that plays right into the hands of Andy Ruiz. Anthony Joshua is not the fastest guy in the world. You know what I'm saying? Anthony Joshua don't have the best head movement in the world. You know what I'm saying? Anthony Joshua comes in a straight line. Listen, that plays into Andy Ruiz's hands. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so I'm going to go over and introduce now Phil Walker. Phil Walker, come in.
What's up, brother? How you doing? Appreciate you having me on the show.
I'm good, man. I've never seen you around here, Phil.
Yeah, I'm buddies with AJBXNG Live. I do a lot of.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Just like to get a quick resume. Know who we're talking to.
Most definitely.
Okay, good to have you. So, yeah, we're gonna start from where we're at now, which is who did you see winning the first fight? Who did you have winning the first fight, and who do you see winning the second fight?
Well, on the first fight, I picked Ruiz to win the first fight. At the particular time, when we discussed this, of course, initially his opponent was Big Baby, and I think Eddie and Matchroom made a bad decision by going with Ruiz. I think they underestimated him, but essentially, when I looked at Ruiz as a fighter in its entirety, I thought he was a pretty complete fighter. I thought he had the hand speed to upset AJ during that particular fight, and I thought it was a bad move for them to go in and underestimate him. So yeah, I picked Ruiz the first fight around.
Okay, and who have you got winning the second fight?
Well, the second fight, honestly, I think Ruiz can upset AJ again if AJ doesn't implement a different strategy. I think the first fight, AJ let the moment get to him, and he played right to the strengths of Andy Ruiz. Of course, we can all see that Andy Ruiz has the hand speed over Anthony Joshua. But like I tell everybody, even with the hand speed, AJ did knock him down in that first fight. Okay, so we all know that AJ can get to him. Okay, if he needs to. But considering the circumstances of this next fight, I think that if AJ implements a good game plan and he sticks to it and he stays focused, I think AJ should win this one on points. But he's going to have to, of course, be in outstanding shape, and he's going to have to keep Ruiz, which is the smaller fighter, the less rangier fighter. He's going to have to keep him from getting inside. So ultimately, I think if AJ can do those things, he shouldn't have a problem winning on points in Saudi Arabia.
EJ Boxing.
Yeah, you see, like my man Phil said, what's up, Phil? How you doing, bro? Nice to have you over, man. Raphie,
what's up?
Yeah, man, Raphie Adolfo's combat show, man. Get me Brooklyn China boxing. So yeah, man, and you see what Phil just said there? That's exactly how I see it. I see him beating him on points. A comfortable fight. Now, that ain't necessarily a great fight for the fans, but it's what's expected of a guy who beat the caliber of fights he's had, and he can do it. You know what I mean? He can do it. If you want to make it exciting, you can, but you leave way for you to get knocked down. Maybe, you know what? Next day Ruiz knocks him down twice. But I feel like if Joshua's coming, because I mean, like I said to you, I've been watching the Sam Peterson fight with Glanamir, and Manuel still had him sparring 100 rounds coming into the fight, over 100 rounds to build up his conditioning and build up his recovery time, and implemented a lot of wrestling in his game plan. When you tie up, when you don't fight him inside, he can win that fight very handily. If that's not the case, if he's not sparring, and remember again, not the sparring, sparring against shorter opponents to help with that style. I feel like he did, man. They've got money, they've got time on their hands, they've got, I'm sure they've got sparring partners waiting for him in Saudi Arabia. I don't know, actually, Al Heyman probably broke the bank. Al Heyman probably broke the bank and got sparring partners in Saudi Arabia waiting up, hotel. This is a big budget money fight what we're watching at here. And you know what? Fury Wilder was big, but this fight is big. It's huge. There's so much on the line, a lot of money on the line. Al Heyman, if he wants to retain and keep the heavyweight championship, he has to break the bank. Bring over the best American sparring partners. Make sure they're acclimated. And when I talk to Mike Stanford, Adrian Rona's coach, make sure they're acclimated with the water. Make sure they have make sure you have the dietitians. Make sure you have the chefs. Make sure they have a place where they can train. That's what Andy Ruiz has to pull out. Eddie Hearn's gonna have to break the bank. No shortcuts. They're gonna have to do exactly the same. Training grounds. Make sure they got a place to train. Acclimate to the weather. It's gonna be outside. So that depending on the time, it might be turned dark. You gotta know the temperatures as when it comes to night. Is it gonna be cooler? Is it gonna be hotter? You need to be. In fact, I'll say this right now. Their training camp should be outside. Hear what I'm saying to you. Their training camp should be outside to get them acclimated to the weather, because that's very important, right? So all these things have to be in place, and then the strategy. Can AJ stick to his mind with the heat burning down on him or not? Can Ruiz, with all the stuff, is he Ruiz just waiting for AJ to make a mistake for him to do his thing? So this is all very clear. But I got AJ on points, even if he gets knocked down once or twice, even 3 times. AJ can still get up and give a masterclass of boxing and show a different style. He has the movement. I'm looking for AJ to give more movement this time. Not so flat-footed, be on his toes. Yeah, pop the jab, be more mobile. You know what I mean? Be more mobile. Then tie him up immediately and walk him back. Make Ruiz fight with you. Make Ruiz wrestle with you inside. You know what I mean? Let him try and hit with you inside. And AJ stays tall. Don't bend down. So AJ's got it on points for me. The majority points, split decision. AJ wins the fights on points for me.
Okay. So, I guess it's my turn. It's my turn. Oh, we got a guest. We got a visitor. Who could it be? Oh, it's John Daly. Okay, bring you in a second, John. Okay, so, as a matter of fact, I'm going to bring you in now, John. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
How you doing,
guys? Yeah, I'm good, yeah.
Okay, wicked. This is in-house talent, John D. Lee. John D. Lee. So, going with the first question straight off the bat. How did you see the first fight go? How did you anticipate? I think I know.
I put it in your chat.
I remember. I
remember. AJ was good at winning 3 rounds. So I was wrong.
Okay. So we'll skirt over that.
I'll own it. So when he put him down, I thought, here we go.
Here we go.
He should have been listening to you, Raphie. You said, hold back.
Yeah.
And he didn't. He went for it. And to be honest, I think everybody overlooks the fact that AJ was charging in when he got caught. That's a lot of weight added to the punch that Ruiz hit him with.
100%, 100%. So we know what your first pick was. And you recall me saying to AJ, don't rush in. Don't rush in. And you recall exactly what AJ did. He rushed in. He rushed in because he was thinking about Wilder, how Wilder finished Breezel. But anyway, that's history. That's water under the bridge. What has been done cannot be undone. So looking to the future, December the 7th, how do you see it going down? John D. Lee.
I think AJ's going to knock him out this time. The reason I think he's going to knock him out is because he put him down with a left hook, which isn't AJ's actual best punch. His actual best punch is the right down the pipe. Mm-hmm. I think if he just is patient and keeps it long, he can get the knockout in the 7th or 8th round.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. But that's the best thing. The rematch is happening. It's happening in Saudi. It's all done and dusted.
Yeah.
Ruiz was very complimentary about the Saudis today. He didn't look too scared.
Oh my gosh, Ruiz. Geez, Ruiz, Louise. Okay, so where are we before I give my assessment? Okay, so my assessment for the first fight was that it was going to be a tough fight for AJ. I felt that Ruiz, I already knew about his fast hands. I knew about his fast hands, and people was acting like, you know, they forgot like he didn't have fast hands. I don't know why. But those fast hands came into play, and they caused the problem, which I anticipated them cause the problem. I didn't think they'd cause so much. I didn't anticipate that Anthony Joshua was going to run in when he knocked him down because he was thinking about Wilder. I didn't anticipate that. Had he not run in like a, I don't want to call him a fool, but he ran in like a fool. He did. He ran in like a fool. Anthony Joshua ran in like a fool over Ant. He wanted to top Wilder. Why top Wilder when Wilder had already finished Breezel in the first round? You're not going to finish. It was the third round. You already couldn't top him. You couldn't top him. It was the third round. So why rush in? But anyway, we all do foolish things, and that was a foolish thing. But that's water under the bridge. Okay, but I did call it. I did say that Ruiz was going to pose Anthony Joshua problems. I did predict. Go back and check the videos. I did predict that Andreas the Ponce Ruiz was going to touch Anthony Joshua up. But I did not predict. What I did not foresee was that Anthony Joshua was going to drop him and then rush in. When does he ever do that? Anthony Joshua is cool, calm, methodical, and he let it go. He didn't do what he was supposed to do. He acted uncharacteristically, and he paid a heavy price. Is he going to do that again? No, he's not going to be that silly to make the same mistake twice. So, my prediction for the second fight, it's going to be a tough fight because Ruiz has already beat him. But one of the reasons why Anthony Joshua took the immediate rematch, in my opinion, is that he knows full well that Ruiz is beatable, and he knows how he would have beat him. He knows how he anticipated beating him, and he knows that all of those factors still exist. The way he thought he was going to beat him in the first place, he can still beat him second time around without the aberration, without the madness, just staying in his own lane, not looking at another man's plate, looking at what Wilder did. Forget about what Wilder did. Wilder wasn't fighting the caliber of opponent that you were fighting. So it's irrelevant what Wilder did. It was a one-off mistake, and I don't anticipate him making the same mistake again. So, how do I see the fight going down? I see Anthony Joshua doing what he should have done first time around, or what they had game planned for first time around. Keeping the fight long. Keeping Andy Ruiz at the end of the jab. No mid-range. It's either long or it's nothing. No mid-range. Step to the back, step to the side, use angles. No mid-range. I put it to you plain and simple. Andy Ruiz cannot beat Joshua at long range. It is that simple. Andy Ruiz cannot beat Anthony Joshua at long range. So where we at? Where are we at? Okay, so Brooklyn boxing child. Come in with your rebuttal, because I know you're going to rebut that. You want to rebut that?
I mean, listen, I don't really got too much to rebut. All I can say is, we'll see what when the fight happens. I mean, as far as, you mentioned something along the lines like, he has to fight him long range or whatever. But Is that his style? See, this is what I'm saying. Like the way y'all like the game plans to beat to beat Andy Ruiz. Like, first of all, Andy Ruiz is definitely beatable. I'm not saying the guy, and none of these fighters are like world beaters, or none of these guys are immortal. But the game plan that Anthony Joshua needs to implement to defeat Andy Ruiz, I don't think he'll be able to do it. Now I'm saying I don't think he'll be able to effectively fight this man in the long range, because you think about his best attributes, he likes to throw. Oh, sorry. My apologies, my headphone came off. Like okay. Anthony Joshua's best attribute, one of his best attributes is the combination punching. You know what I'm saying? Can you like he does that in the mid-range, you know? So what I'm saying is the game plan that needs to be implemented for Anthony Joshua to defeat Andy Ruiz, I just don't think he has the capability to do it.
Did you see Anthony Joshua versus Joseph Parker?
I did.
Well, that was a long range fight.
That was no, I mean, but I mean, yeah, but okay. But another thing too, Anthony Joshua doesn't. But Joseph Parker was still able to get the fight on the inside though. You know what I'm saying? But the problem was the referee was just constantly breaking them apart. You know what I mean? But so. You know, Anthony, because if you look at Andy Ruiz, he does an excellent job at closing the distance. You know what I mean? So, Joseph Parker was able to close the distance, and Andy Ruiz able to close the distance. Hey, you know, we'll see what happens.
Joseph Parker was able to close the distance.
Yes. I mean, he was the fight. Every time the fight got on the inside, the referee pulled him apart. I mean, I gotta rewatch the fight, but that's one thing I remember from that fight.
That was a long range fight. Occasionally, the fight got close. Yes, the referee did interfere quite a lot, but primarily that was a long range fight. Primarily.
But how did Anthony Joshua look?
How did he look?
Yes.
It wasn't.
Did he look effective in the long range?
It wasn't. Well, he won, didn't he? Did he not win?
He won. But
is that not the objective of the game, to win?
That's the objective of the game, but this is the heavyweight division. You know what I'm saying? Like you
it's the heavyweight division, and he won a heavyweight fight, keeping it at long range.
Yo. So what you're saying is that like the referee saved AJ. I think if you look at the fight, Ruiz on the back foot for the majority of the fight, and when the referee came to save, he was saving Parker. Parker didn't want to fight him inside. If you look at the fight, Parker was on the back fight. He didn't want to engage. He was trying to steal the fight like Huey Fury. You know what I mean? Like what fight you watching? That the referee saved Parker. Parker didn't want to fight him inside. He was scared and wary of the power. Remember in mind, AJ was knocking out catches. AJ coming to the fight.
Dominate him.
AJ came into the fight, knocked out Vladimir. Parker ain't never been there. And you said to yourself, Ruiz beat him already, right? So he you know what I'm saying? He still had stuff to prove. And people said Huey Fury beat him as well. When he came into that fight, that guy, he's lucky the referee was in there. People complained about the referee. Joshua was complaining about the referee because I wanted to get him, but the referee kept interfering. Joshua was one who was complaining. Parker wasn't. They said it after, but he didn't want to fight. He was on the back foot. So I mean, like you when you watch a fight, you see something else, dog. I mean, you be seeing something else, and I see something what you ain't seeing. That's all it is, man. And that's an opinion.
Hey, but what I mean now, I disagree with people who say this, but there's some people who thought Parker. I've heard a few channels thought that Parker won the fight. I didn't think so. But the fight was very competitive. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, that fight to me was a little bit of a snooze fest too. You know, that's what I'm saying. Like Anthony Joshua's best attribute is like the best part of Anthony Joshua's game is his mid-range fighting, and that plays into part of Andy Ruiz.
You mind if I jump in?
Let John speak first because he spoke first. Carry on, John. Then
okay.
Then it's
just a quick query. Did you see the Charles Martin fight? Brooklyn?
Yes, I did.
So which punch put Charles Martin down?
All right. No, was it a counter?
It was the straight
Counter
right
right?
down the pipe, the counter straight right down the pipe, and that's a long range punch.
Yeah.
It wasn't combinations. It was a perfectly timed straight right, which is the best way to be a southpaw.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
So that was a long range fight that AJ won. That was exciting. That's my point. You're saying he could only fight on the mid range with counters. Not counters, with combinations.
No.
Well, I'm giving you an example of AJ winning a fight at long range by knockout.
No, but what I'm saying is, to me, that's his best attribute. I'm not saying he can fight just one way. I'm just saying that's his best attribute. Is his mid-range fight. To me,
he fought to a game plan in that fight because the easiest way to beat a southpaw is with the straight right down the pipe.
For sure.
Straight punches will what is his best way to beat Andy Ruiz because he's got the length and they're quicker than hooks and throwing uppercuts and everything else that he can throw. But he's already shown he can fight to a game plan with powerful, long-range straight punches. And he put Ruiz down with a hook as well. No one else has ever put Ruiz down before.
No, but what I'm saying is why was he outside of the third round, why wasn't Anthony Joshua able to land that same shot against
because the tempo shot that he took, he didn't recover from. Rasklat's put that in the chat. I agree with that. That's true. Andy Ruiz won the fight. He was the better man on the day. That's fine. We've got the rematch. And I believe that AJ will prepare for Andy Ruiz and he'll use long, straight, heavy punches. What I think he needs to do is have a heavy, long jab and a straight right down the pipe.
Hey, I agree with that. But
AJ's shown he can do both of those things in the past. AJ can land a heavy jab.
But if you
I've given you an example of a straight right down the pipe.
Okay, for sure. But think about the opponent. If you think to be honest with you, but outside, Anthony Joshua landed two really good punch. He landed that left hook, and then right after the knockdown, he did land a straight right hand. You know what I mean? But outside of those moments, to be honest with you, if you see the fight, Andy Ruiz was catching his shots, moving away from it. Like he performed very good defense on that fight.
He was the better man on the day, without question, and he deserved to win the fight. I haven't got a problem with that.
For sure.
Yes. So Phil Walker.
Yeah, just want to comment on the Joseph Parker, the AJ and Joseph Parker fight.
Yeah.
Well, let's be honest. A lot of people didn't like the way AJ looked in that fight because when you see someone winning a certain kind of way, sometimes that's all you can see. But at the end of the day, it's all about winning. And if you have to implement a different style because you're fighting against different opponents each time, of course, then that's what you have to do. He most definitely fought Parker at range that entire fight. And when Parker did happen to get inside, AJ clinched. Parker did a little clinching, and essentially the referee broke the fight up most of the time. Okay, so those guys didn't get a chance to bang inside, which of course played in AJ's favor because he's the longer, rangier fighter. Okay, I think AJ's team did a good job with coming up with a game plan to win that fight. I mean, it's not going to always look how people envision it looking. Okay, it is the heavyweight division, and we like to see knockouts. But to these fighters, winning is the only thing that counts. Okay,
you're right. You're absolutely right.
And as far as the Ruiz fight is concerned, I think just by the way, that's essentially called like a Eastern European style of fighting. It's when you use, like my man said, straight punches. Okay. And whenever your opponent gets inside, you essentially tie them up and you basically use your straight punches the entire fight. That's called fighting at range. As far as with the Andy Ruiz fight, I think AJ can implement a similar game plan, but I think the only thing he needs to do is when Andy Ruiz does get inside, because it will be a time in the fight when Andy Ruiz can get inside of AJ. He needs to clinch, okay? But during the clinch, he does not need to have his feet in cement. When he clinches, he needs to walk him down, make him go backwards. He's the bigger guy. It's hard for somebody to be in a clinch and swing when you're putting your weight on them and you're making them walk backwards, okay? Force the referee to jump in and break the fight up. I think that would be beneficial for AJ as far as going in to keep Andy Ruiz at range and ultimately get the win on points.
Well, yeah, I hear what you're saying. My response to that is when we're talking about the grappling, the clinching, the grappling leading to the clinching, or the clinching leading to the grappling. How I envisage it going, my game plan for AJ, my game plan for Joshua is when he clinches him, not just walk him backwards, but turn him as well. So I think we saw, when was the last time I saw that? So if AJ has his right hand underhooking Ruiz's left arm, then what we're looking at there is Joshua turning Ruiz so that he comes out at an angle. When the referee stops him, he comes out at an angle, or turn him and then pop. Before the referee breaks him up, I want AJ to turn Ruiz. So AJ is facing Ruiz face on, but Ruiz is facing away. Got to turn him, get the underhook, turn him, back, left, right to the dome. So I'm not just thinking about AJ grappling with him to walk him backwards. I'm primarily looking at AJ to grapple with him, get the underhook. So AJ is facing Ruiz. Ruiz is facing away at a right angle. Pop, 1, 2. And I want to see that repeatedly. Whenever he gets too close, I want AJ to come in or step to the side. So Ruiz is facing away. It's all about angles. I'm talking about angles. That's how I see, that's how I prefer the fight to go. I want to see angles. That's what I want to see. Okay.
100%.
Sorry. 100%. Yeah. Angles. Not just walking him back. Because if you walk the man back, the man's still facing you.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I add on to that, fates as well. I want to see fates. When Lennox Lewis was in front of Mike Tyson, or Vander Holyfield was in front of Mike Tyson, and the reason why I say Mike Tyson, because Ruiz has that kind of short squat style. When the Vander Holyfield knocked out Mike Tyson, he fated him. So what he did, he let Mike threw out his right, stepped back, and came over the top. And that's what you do with Ruiz. So you lean forward, like you're going to throw a punch, and let Ruiz throw a punch, then counter him, because your arms are longer. So if you can be right in front of someone and fake them, and Joshua didn't know how to do that. That's stuff he didn't do. So if you use some feints, and like you're going to throw a punch, then turn your jab into a left hook. You see how he knocked that Hassan Ratman? That kind of thing, then he should go right. But hey, we're talking about what AJ should do. What AJ is gonna do is another thing. We're gonna find out. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna find out.
One thing I'll say about the feints is, I think Brooklyn Child was talking about how long would it take Joshua to acquire these grappling skills. Well, what I'll say about the feints is, I think, my opinion, come back at me on this, EJ, but I think it would take him Joshua longer to learn about the feinting than it would about the grappling.
Yeah, I agree with you. Because the feint is, but the thing is, even if they do it, how long can they implement? But the wrestling is a must, because that can just take you for your whole career. Yeah. But the feinting, it can take you longer because it's use your feet and your hands and to change the punches trajectory. So, but
it takes more skill. It takes more skill to feint.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah. And you can fake. Sometimes you can fake yourself out. So you're right. You know what I mean? Like, you don't go sign. But the thing is, everything is designed to draw the sting. Is what we use in the amateurs, to draw the sting out the beat. Make him come with these most leafless punches, make them miss and counter straight on him. You know what I mean? And that's how knockouts occur. Is when a guy is throwing a punch with venom and you meet him, right? And then it's like a car crash. It has a more devastating effect. You know what I mean? So whether Joshua can do that, we'll find out. But definitely, it's caused interest Ruiz, and then from rightly so is the favorite. Rightly so. No, you know what? Let me actually. No, I'll change that. Let me change that. Is he the favorite? Let me ask the question. Is he? Because if Ruiz beats Joshua, I reckon he's going to be the most underrated champion you're probably going to see for a long time. Because even in this fight, is he the favorite? You know what I mean? I know we all picked who's going to win. And Joshua is the favorite. Go ahead.
EJ, I think the bookies have got AJ favorite.
See?
Whether you think that's right or not. Certainly in the UK they have. It might be different in America.
I think it's the favorite everywhere, man. I'm not lying. See, John D, I think it's the favorite everywhere. That just goes into my case that people feel like he didn't win the fight. You see what I'm saying? You see if Mike Tyson was fighting Buster Douglas in the rematch, would Mike Tyson be the favorite? Yes, he would be. Because he's a compliment. You know what I'm saying? That's the way it is. Because people don't, even Bob Arum didn't have that much faith in Thingy, man. You know what I mean? No one bought Ruiz except for obviously my man down there, Phil Walker. But everyone else, you know what I'm saying? It's like night and day. So we'll see.
Yes, we will see indeed. But going back to the fainting thing, I don't think, I'm not sure this is the fight. I'm not sure this is the fight, EJ, for Anthony Joshua to start dusting off the fainting business.
If you're going to talk about the grappling, we just saw Hughie Fury implement it. He only managed to do it for 2 rounds. But he did it against Povetkin. I'd never seen Fury do any of that inside work before. It is easy to pick up.
Yeah. Yes.
And I think the reason Fury couldn't keep it up is he doesn't have the physical strength to do it. Whereas that's not going to be a problem for AJ.
That is not going to be a problem for AJ. Okay, where are we now? Where are we now? I think we...
Can I say something real quick?
Who's that? Brooklyn. Yeah, of course.
No, see, now I'm just gonna say this. Now, going back to the first fight, why wouldn't they implement that in the first fight? You know what I mean? Listen.
Implement
as far
what?
as like holding, not as far as grappling, but just holding and
no. That's not a skill. That's not the grappling thing. The grappling thing is not AJ. Has not been AJ's forte. It has not been AJ's forte, even in the Parker fight. Even in the Parker fight. Hold on. Even in the Parker fight, I didn't like. Yeah. That was a talking point. I don't know how many people were talking about it. I didn't have my channel up at that time, but to me, that was a talking point. That was a point at which I said to myself, yo, AJ really needs to get in on a grappling thing, because I remember he let Parker go sometimes. They clinched because there was some clinching, and he let Parker go sometimes, and Parker was firing off the clinch. He was firing off the clinch. People say there was no clinching whatsoever. The referee broke him up from the clinch every time. No, he was firing off the clinch. I think he got some sneaky shots in. I remember Parker, I think the referee would break him up, and Parker got some cheap shots in off the clinch. And I thought, yo, Joshua really needs to learn how to handle himself in these situations, in them clinch situations. I remember that vividly. Anybody who disputes that, I recommend you go back and watch the fight. Parker doing some sneaky stuff after the referee told him to break, and he got some cheap shots in. And that's when I thought, no. You need to address that. You need to fill that hole in your game. You need to, when you clinch a man, you clinch him. And when you step out, you make sure you step out in such a way that he can't get a cheap shot in. You don't just walk away because the referee said break. But what's your point anyway, Brooklyn Charles? Sorry.
No, you good, bro. No, see, but what I'm saying to myself, okay, Andy Ruiz is a shorter statue heavyweight. He's 6'1", 6'2", 360 pounds. I mean, like my question is, as far as the AJ camp, did they not watch film of this guy? Because everything that y'all saying as far as the game plan to implement in the matchup, like why wouldn't the actual trainer, not just boxing fans on YouTube, but why wouldn't the actual trainers, try to implement this game plan in the first fight, because obviously that wasn't the case. Like obviously they had a totally different game plan, but it would have made more sense. Okay, you keep him in long range, he gets in the inside, you grapple him, you wrestle him around, you turn him a little bit. Everything that y'all saying makes sense, but why wouldn't they implement that in the actual first fight? That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying maybe they did, but when he got buzzed, maybe he forgot about it. Like you said, everyone's got a plan until they get hit. So when he got hit, maybe he forgot about it. You know what I mean? And Robert didn't remind him. There was panic setting in the whole camp. Like, yo, my guy's gone down, yo. There was panic setting. So maybe he does know it. Maybe something they do work on it, but he didn't use it. There's loads of reasons, you know what I mean? Why? You know what I'm saying? So
there's that possibility.
Can I? Go ahead.
No, there's a possibility.
I think Ruiz will hit him again in the rematch.
Please, one at a time.
Sorry, my bad.
There's a possibility that they did have that game plan about the clinching, but since he's not a notorious clincher, there's also the possibility that they didn't have that game plan. You understand? But just because they didn't have the game plan the first time around doesn't mean that they can't have that game plan the second time around. You see what I'm saying, Brooklyn Boxer? But anyway, who just wanted to come in?
That was me. Just to add on to what you said, my brother. At the end of the day, when you really break down film of Andy Ruiz and you check out his past fights, and again, they may have implemented something such as that in the AJ camp, but when you break down Andy Ruiz, he's not the kind of guy that grapples and clinches very much. Now, what I will say about his game is he is the kind of fighter that is very good at getting out of clinches, okay, and firing shots off as he gets out of the clinches. Now, that within itself, I think, is something that more so AJ needs to practice on versus, Andy Ruiz's team. Because when you go in and you really break the film down, Andy Ruiz doesn't do a lot of that. He wants to get inside and he wants to showcase his hand speed and his ability to sting fighters with multiple shots from all different angles. Okay. Mm-hmm. Again, AJ's team may have had a strategy that said, hey, if you ever get into a situation where you guys are in close quarters and you want to clinch or grapple with them, this is what you need to do. But essentially, you only can train for so much. You only can prepare for so much. And like my man just said, Andy Ruiz is not that kind of fighter that does that often. That's not his game plan. That's not his forte. So at the end of the day, even if they did implement that in their training, it wasn't. I don't think it was a bunch of emphasis on it because, again, Andy Ruiz, that's not his style. So I think, when you ask why didn't they implement it the first time around, I think they may have, but you have to consider that you can't prepare for everything, especially when you don't see it often from a particular fighter.
Okay, we got Hamid.
Yes. How's it going, Raph?
I'm good, my friend. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I just before I say something, I think Edge Note is waiting, so can you let him on as well? I think
no, he's not waiting. There's some issues with his webcam or something of that description.
Oh, he's not waiting. All right, I thought EJ just said he's waiting. That's what. What were you talking about? Is it just? I
get the readout. I get the printout. It tells me what's going on, and apparently his webcam or something is not connected. So.
Okay. All right. What are you guys talking about? Joshua Ruiz and whatever. How he fought in the first fight, is it?
Yeah, we're talking about how Anthony Joshua wins the second fight.
All right. I don't think he's really an inside fighter. I know he's not really a fighter who fights on the outside, but he's more of a guy who stays on the mid-range to inside. But he's not. I don't know. It's quite hard to explain. He's not really someone who fights on the inside, but he's kind of on mid-range. So I do agree. I think it's Phil against Parker on the inside. He didn't look the best. He didn't look as comfortable on the inside because every time he was on the inside, I think the referee kept breaking it up.
Yeah.
And he didn't look as strong as he was. I think he was more comfortable mid-range in that fight. But against Ruiz, I think he's better off keeping it on the outside. Maybe mid-range, he can mix it up a bit here
Can't be
and there.
mid-range.
Because
Can't be mid-range. Not
yeah,
get
but
through.
he's not the most what's the word? He's not the most technical guy to stay on the outside. He's not like Klitschko. He don't know how to keep his chin out the way, and his jab as well. When he jabs, I think he leaves himself open. I think maybe his technique, the way he punches, but I do think he needs to stay on the outside more. Like he can't. Last fight when he dropped him, he tried rushing him and he went on the inside, and Ruiz clocked him. And Ruiz is the better fighter, I think, on the inside.
Yeah.
So I think he needs to try and keep his distance.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Needs to keep his distance. Needs to keep his distance. Who we got here? We got Edge Note 50TV. How do you do?
How do you do?
I'm
Yeah,
very
I'm good. Hey,
I'm very
everybody.
good. I'm very good. So how does Joshua? No, sorry. Who do you think is going to win in the second fight?
It's very simple. You know, he's gonna have to make it a boring fight. Fight from range. Hit him. You know, hit him with the jab, 1-2s. Maybe even maybe you might surprise us with a double jab. And then when Ruiz tries to get into the inside, he'll just have to clinch, hold, and then release again, and then just frustrate Andy Ruiz throughout the fight. Ruiz will get frustrated because he'll be clearly losing on points, and then it'll get to the stage where he has to take risks, and then just wait for Ruiz to make a mistake, and then you'll take him out. That's what I think will happen. And you can see from the first fight, he was trying to tell Joshua to do that tactic, but by then it was too late. He was already down 3 or 4 times, and he was out of it. So I think now, part 2, I think that's what's going to happen. And I think if it's not what's going to happen, I think that's what they should do.
Yeah. So you're saying Joshua's got to keep it on the outside? How does he lure him in? And he's going to catch him coming in or catch him going out? Or how does he catch him?
No, because he's a taller, bigger guy, so he doesn't have to close the distance for him to catch him. He'll just have to throw the jab, throw 1-2s, do a couple of he's not really great with feints, but he moves his shoulders from side to side to try to kind of maybe try to confuse as to what is he going to do in regards to throwing his punches. But then he doesn't have to do too much to reach Ruiz, because Ruiz, if he was fighting Deontay Wilder, it'd be a tougher fight. If he was fighting Tyson Fury, it'd be a tougher fight, because both of them are tall, lanky fighters and that can fight from range. Whereas Ruiz is a very small fighter. He has to. The only way that Ruiz can retouch Joshua is for him to make the movements to go into the inside. But he's not. His feet. People talk about Ruiz's his hands, but the problem is his feet. The issue is his feet. He hasn't got the footwork. He's not fast enough to get into the inside to hit Joshua without Joshua coming back. And you have to remember in the first fight, when Ruiz was trying to step in, every time Joshua caught him. Every time he's trying to step in, Joshua caught him every single time. So what Joshua has to do is frustrate him, keep on connecting, jab, rack up the points. Eventually, Ruiz is going to get frustrated. He's going to have to take a few risks, gamble, and then when he gambles, then that's when AJ is going to close the show. That's why I think what's going to happen. Because let's look at the facts. He's the bigger, taller guy than Ruiz, clearly by a big margin. And people talk about Joshua's boxing ability. Let's not forget that Joshua's got a good boxing ability. The only person I think has got a better boxing ability than what Joshua is Tyson Fury. So I think so, and he beat Parker, and Parker beat Ruiz. So it's not as hard as what people are trying to make it out to be.
Can I say, don't you guys think Joshua struggles with shorter guys?
Yeah, it's well known.
He struggles.
then
He struggles against late opponents. He struggles against.
Can I come in on that one?
no, but
Do you think he
Alright, go.
struggled with Povetkin, Ahmed, or did he get caught with one punch
Early
in
on,
the
I
first
thought he did.
round? Well, after the first round, how much was he really struggling, or was he just being patient?
I thought arguably you could have had him losing that fight. I thought it was level. I thought like it was close, but he had to adjust in that fight. He showed him respect as well. Like
But you should show
I
Povetkin
do think he finds.
respect. Povetkin's
I
a
do
good
think he
fighter.
finds
He's
it
a
harder
quality
to fight shorter
fighter.
guys. No, but I do think you find it harder to fight shorter guys than taller guys. I disagree with that. Edge was saying if he fought Wilder and Fury, maybe Fury stylistically, Wilder could end it with one punch, but his reach and keeping his distance, I don't think he'd have as much trouble with Povetkin. At times, he was struggling to keep him on the range. I think the main reason that he managed to turn that fight around and won was because he started using his jab and feinting him to the body. And I don't think Povetkin is the fighter he was, but nonetheless, he made adjustments in that fight. With Ruiz, I don't think he did make any adjustments. We'll find out if he can in the rematch, though.
I think during the Povetkin fight, I think AJ's biggest asset during that particular fight was slowing it down and being patient and finding out what it was that he needed to do to capitalize off of Povetkin trying to get inside and fight him. And that's what he did. And that's what he didn't do against Andy Ruiz. He rushed the fight. He didn't let the fight come to him like he did in the Povetkin fight. At the end of the day, he has to maintain his focus throughout the entire fight. He cannot let the moment basically control him or dictate how the fight turns out. I think it was, of course, less pressure on him against Povetkin than it was against Andy Ruiz. And again, his biggest asset during that particular fight was his patience and his ability to adapt on the fly.
Yeah, Phil, that's true. He tried looking for the KO with Ruiz with Povetkin. He didn't go looking for it. He came in.
I think that was a big difference. The key point. Well, there's a few key points, but actually in the ring, AJ's biggest mistake with Ruiz started before he got to the ring. But I'm not going to go through that again. I think we all know that it was the late replacement, the Miller, then the Ortiz, then finally, they got somebody. They got somebody now. But let's not get it twisted though. If that was a Wilder going to new territory to break new territory, or a Fury going to break new territory, well, we see how Fury breaks new territory. He breaks new territory with the Schwartzes and the Otto Wallins of the world. If it was either of those guys, they wouldn't have been going for a high caliber opponent. Okay, counteraction to that. Well, Fury went over and took on Wilder. Fair enough. So that's the counteraction. But generally speaking, now he's dropped down. Now he's dropped down to lower hanging fruit. So Joshua went on, took on a big risk, which he didn't have to do. I can't really complain about it because I was lobbying for them to fight Ruiz. I was lobbying for them to fight Ruiz, but I didn't anticipate the changing of opponents being a factor in terms of his mentality. You know what I'm saying? So that was a mistake on him. He paid the price for the mistake, but for real and for sure, he's approaching this fight with a whole different mentality. So anybody trying to suggest that he wasn't mentally off, well, look at the way he's looking at Ruiz now. It's not the same way he was looking at Ruiz before. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole different mentality. Whole different mentality to this thing going into this fight. So clearly it affected him. It affected him, the change of opponents, the continual change of opponents. It was a factor. And yes, I totally agree that what's that? Who's that in the mic? Is that you, Hamid?
No.
Okay. Okay, I don't know. Some clicking.
Can I say though?
Some clicking in the mic. Carry on.
That's not me. I was gonna say, I don't think that was the main thing. I think the main problem was once he dropped him, he tried. He showed him no respect. He tried going and walking him through. He landed a big right hand. Once Ruiz took that, he should have backed off a bit and kept his guard up. He didn't show him the respect he did this to Dylan White, and he almost got knocked down.
Well, when you say he didn't show him the respect, is that because he was a late? Is that not a factor in him being?
No, I think it's a bit of both. It's a bit of both. It was that, and I think the way Wilder knocked out Dominic Brazil, he wanted to also make a statement. Joshua admitted this. He said after he seen that, he wanted to do the same thing. So it's his own fault. Like, look, now he's got the rematch. If he loses again, then I don't think we could go dwell on too many of the things. Maybe Ruiz has got his number, but the way Ruiz beat him, I think it was more to do with once he dropped him, his game plan went out the window. Before that, mentally, I do agree. It didn't look as usually as he does. But it's hard to read too much into that. But once he dropped him, he showed him no respect. And you can't do that on that level. Ruiz is not a heavy bag. He's actually a guy with fast hands. And he made Joshua pay for his mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So, what time is it? What time do we start? Okay, we got a few minutes more. Is there anybody? No, that's enough. I think we talked enough about that. Actually, edge note. Is there anything else you want to say on that before we move on? We got a few minutes more.
So a quick thing. Just highlight what Hamed.
Hold on. First of all, edge note. First of all, where do I recognize your voice from? Edge note.
Hey, you probably heard me on the boxing voice a few times.
Ha ha ha.
Yeah, so
Eric or something.
Huh?
What's your name? What name was you using on the boxing voice? Mike. How come you didn't introduce yourself to me, Mike?
Huh?
How come you didn't introduce yourself to me? How come you didn't introduce yourself to me? I know your voice. I know you from the boxing voice.
Yeah, I wasn't away until after, and then we're gonna have a chat because I think you will be on the same chat group, isn't it?
Nah, there ain't no real chat group. With this thing, once you close it down, it's done.
Oh, okay.
There ain't no chats after.
Yeah,
I thought I recognized the voice. I thought I recognized the voice and the energy. I recognize the voice and the energy. Mike's just slipping into my thing without even introducing himself, without even saying hello, Raphie. You recognize me? Don't you recognize me, Raphie? What's going on, Mike?
I recognize your voice, but I don't know if anyone recognized my voice. So
I recognize your voice. You knew it was me, Mike. You knew it was me. You know,
I know. I see you on there. What's it, the host sometimes? So on there. So yeah, I keep an eye on it.
Yeah. So anyway, Mike, as you were saying.
No, I was just saying, like, I was on add on what Hamid was saying. I think that Anthony Joshua looked at the Dominic Brazil knockout, and he took that into the fight. And when he saw that Andy Ruiz got hurt, I don't think he underestimated Ruiz, but I think when he got the knockdown early, he kind of went for the kill, and he thought that he was going to go down easily, and he didn't. And that's the problem. That's the mistake that he made. I think that in the second fight, he won't make that same mistake twice. So I think that's the thing. I mean, everyone's looking at he got knocked down 3 or 4 or 5 times in that fight, but people are forgetting the first knockdown was based on a hit in the head. The rest of the time he didn't even know where he was. So that I don't really count that, because once you've got hit in the back of the temple, then all your senses are gone, and you're gonna be down 4 or 5 times. So yeah, I think that now he's just focusing on Ruiz, and I think that he should get the job done. When the time comes.
Yes, indeed.
Hey, can I say something real quick?
Yeah, sure.
One thing people forget in the first fight, as far as Ruiz and Joshua, was Andy Ruiz landed some nice shots to the body before the 7th round, like prior to the 7th round, like Andy Ruiz, like, that's something that people forget, because I rewatched the fight not too long ago, and and Andy Ruiz was landing some excellent body shots.
Yeah,
Right
he
in
hit
the
him to the
stomach.
body. Yeah,
He hit him a bunch of times to the body, and so when people say, oh, oh, he's coming to America for the first time, replacement opponents, this, that, and the third. Listen, man, at the end of the day, those body shots too played a factor in all this shit too. Oh, sorry, excuse me. The body shots played a factor. That I want people to remember that. Feel free to look at the first fight.
Yeah, but
Just
you guys,
to,
you're forgetting, the only time that Ruiz got success was after he hit Anthony Joshua in the back of the head after the third round. He wasn't getting no success in the first 3 rounds. He was getting caught. Every time Ruiz was coming inside, he was getting caught. Anthony Joshua wasn't getting touched in the first 3 rounds. He got knocked down. As soon as after he got hit in the back of the temple, that was it. It was game over. I knew as soon as you get hit in the back of the temple, it's game over. And from then on, he got hit everywhere. Hit in the body, hit in the head. And Ruiz was hitting him and knocking him out, knocking him down at will. It's too late. You know what I mean?
did he look great in those first 3 rounds? Don't you think
No,
there's nothing to split them like?
He didn't look great in the first 3 rounds, but he wasn't getting touched. It wasn't like, it's like, for example, if you're comparing, like, let's say, let's bring up another fight, like Amir Khan, for example. You can see before Amir Khan gets knocked out, he gets touched. He gets touched like 1, 2, and then you can say,
I like Danny Garcia.
You better not do that. If you carry on doing that, you're gonna get knocked out. There wasn't that warning. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like in the first 3 rounds, you're like, if he carries on doing that, he's going to get knocked out. There was no sense of that. It was only after the 3rd round, when he got hit in the back of the head, that's when I think, okay, he's in trouble. But before that, even though his tactics was questionable or whatever, or those kind of things, if he knocked him out in the 3rd round, then nobody would not be questioning the performance. It would just be a straight...
Let me
AJ knocked out Ruiz.
No, hold up, Broken.
No, let's move it along.
I had a quick rebuttal on that, just real quick. During that particular fight, the first 3 rounds, AJ did look very good, but I do think when Andy Ruiz did have some success those first 3 rounds. So, okay, he was landing his jab and he was landing shots to the body. That was clear as day. I think where the mistake came in was when AJ knocked Ruiz down. That was essentially, to me, a flash knockdown. Just because you knock somebody down doesn't necessarily mean that they're hurt. And I think AJ had a hard time gauging whether he hurt Ruiz or not. And ultimately, that's what cost him his championship belts, because that played directly into Andy Ruiz's hands, because he was sane, he was all there, and he was not hurt. And essentially, that's when Ruiz landed the shot behind the head. And ultimately, we all know what happened after that. It was the flash knockdown. He was not hurt.
Yeah, and I think the factor behind AJ rushing in, and this will be the last point on this particular topic. I think the factor why AJ rushed in was because he was thinking about Wilder. He was thinking about a bigger picture. His mind was elsewhere. He wasn't even looking at the clear and present danger of Ruiz coming back fresh. He wasn't even thinking about that. He was thinking about. He was thinking about the Wilder fight and what Wilder did to Breezel. Carry on, Hamed.
I was gonna say, I do think Ruiz was hurt, but he wasn't staggered. Like, when clearly, Joshua got hurt, Joshua was staggered. Like, his whole body, like, it was a jolt that went through his whole body. With Ruiz, he was hurt, but he's got a really good chin. Like, that right hand he took after the knockdown, that was a huge shot, and he managed to stay on his feet. I do think he's hurt, but
Ruiz wasn't sufficiently hurt, as hurt.
As bad as Joshua was hurt more.
The thing is, Joshua didn't even really assess that situation. He was just thinking about what Wilder did, and he said, "Okay, I'm going to get you now. I'm going to get you now." But if you listen to my live show on that topic, at that exact point when he knocked him down, I said, "Don't rush in," and that's exactly what he did. That's the last point on that subject before we move on. We're about to finish real soon, but we're gonna have to briefly touch on at least another topic, You know what I'm saying? However, briefly. Okay, so there's a lot of talk about the Callum Smith situation. Callum Smith, super middleweight champion, has been his manager's been coming out in the press saying that Callum has been approached by different entities talking about receiving offers, and in the meantime talking about Callum's looking for a big fight, a big money fight. Now here is my problem with that. Callum Smith has only just won the championship. He defended it against Endam. He won it against George Groves, World Boxing Super Series. Defended it on the MGM. Or is it MGM? Yeah. MGM card, undercard, Joshua Ruiz against Endami. And now he's talking about he's only interested in big money fights. I think, well, do I give my opinion now or do I give my opinion later? Okay, I'll give my opinion later. I know my opinion is, but first of all, let's go to John Dealey.
I heard Eddie Hearn getting interviewed about Callum Smith. I don't know if it was actually done today, but I listened to it today. Mm-hmm. I think Eddie Hearn just wants him to have a run out. I'm pretty certain Callum had a kid after the Groves fight.
Okay.
So I think Hearn wants him to knock some rust out.
Yeah.
And I think Joe Gallagher wants him to have a mega fight. I can see the Billy Joe Saunders fight happening next year and them having a run out in Liverpool first.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Often people talk about leaving Hearn, and when they do, he lets them go. But the main reason they don't normally leave is because when they go elsewhere, they'll get offered less money. So I don't think there's a promoter out there that can offer him a bigger fight than Eddie Hearn can. So I think he might cause a lot of fuss. They might do some complaining. But we've heard Dillian White do this before and then stay. So I think that's what will happen.
Yes. Who has gone? Oh, okay. I see Brooklyn. Okay. All right. I got you. Right. So who's next? Let's go along the top row. That is Phil Walker.
Yeah. I think
situation. Are you familiar with the situation?
Yes, I am. I'm familiar with the situation. I think when he says he's interested in big money fights, I think that's just to me personally. Every fighter that's fighting is interested in big money fights, of course, right? At the end of the day, that's why you hire people to assess these situations for you. I think he needs to be patient. He's a new champion, okay? And as a new champion, I think it's a level of patience that you have to have in order to get the big fights that you want. Do I think he's a star? I think he can most definitely be a star. And I think currently he's with the right team in order to maximize his marketability. So I think ultimately as a fighter, because he's only had 26, 27 fights, something like that.
Let me stop. Let me interrupt you for a second. Okay, so I'm gonna have to pop out to the kitchen for a minute. So after you've spoken, then Brooklyn Child, you come in, and if I'm still not back, then John Dealey, you come back in. So I'm gonna be away for about a minute and a half. Okay, sorry to interrupt. Carry on.
Yeah, at the very moment, I think he has the right team to market him in a way to where he can become a star. But as like I said, as most fighters that's fighting, they want to maximize their paydays. So I mean, he's in the same boat as everybody else, but at 29 years old, he's just going to have to be patient, like most fighters are. I think he can do it. I think he's a good fighter. I think he's a good champion. And as long as he keeps his head straight and he keeps winning, he will get, I don't know how many big paydays, but he will eventually get a big payday.
I think Brooklyn's dropped off, hasn't he? I think he just wanted to talk about the heavyweight situation. One question I've got for you: do you think he can stay at super middle for a long time, or do you think he needs to move up to light heavy because he's 6'3"?
Yeah, you know what? I will be honest with you. He is he's very big for his weight division. Okay. I think he would probably eventually move up to light heavy because, again, like you just mentioned, he's 6'3". I think he has close to an 80-inch reach. I think he has the build and the frame to move up with no problem. I think he has the skill and the boxing style to move up with no problem. But right now, the landscape for the division that he's in, if big paydays is what he's looking for.
Well, I'm trying to work out what big paydays there are for him. I mean, there's Billy Joe Saunders at super middleweight. Who else would you say was a big fight for Callum Smith?
I mean, hands down. I'm a big advocate for Billy Joe. And I think, as far as a big fight and as a domestic fight, I think Billy Joe Saunders will be that guy that can give him that big payday. But Billy Joe needs to get his stuff together on his end before anything like that is absolutely discussed. Because I don't think I think after his whole debacle with the scandal as far as the PEDs, I don't think he's been himself. So I think he has a little while to go to work his way back into the Billy Joe Saunders he was before that incident. But ultimately, I think on a domestic level, as far as a national level, that would probably be the fight that everybody is most interested in, that even people here in the States will tune into to watch.
I definitely think they both need to fight again. The PED thing in the UK, I don't think was such a big deal because he didn't break our rules. So it was a nasal spray that you're not allowed to use on fight night in the UK, but there's no regulation about using it outside of fight night. And I think VADA, you're not allowed to use it at all. So whilst he broke the rules and understand why that fight was cancelled, he didn't know he was breaking the rules because he's used it under UCAD and not been in trouble for it before. And there's a lot of supplements a lot of guys use that probably give them a little bit of something that are legal. And then when you move across different governing bodies, the rules change slightly. So it wasn't, I don't think it's a massive scandal here. I think it's forgotten a bit. I think it was more a case in America. It was a big scandal because it was an American fighter that he popped against. I think Hearn's trying to maneuver that fight to be at Anfield. Do you know what Anfield is?
No, I do not.
It's Liverpool Football Club's home stadium, which is obviously where Callum Smith's from. So I think he wants to do in May next year, Callum Smith versus Billy Joe Saunders at Anfield, which would be a big fight. And I think in between that, they both need to get in the ring and just knock off the rust and actually do some fighting. Because neither of them they've both been out for nearly 12 months now.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. And again, just to comment on the PED deal, I'm not gonna say I don't think it was a big deal, but again, as you mentioned, he did not break any UKs. Didn't even break any rules as far as the UK is concerned, right? As far as the rules go in the UK is concerned, shall I say? So yeah, I 100% agree with you on that.
Okay, because another fight that I think would be good for Callum Smith would be the Bivol fight, because Bivol's talks about coming down to 168.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a really interesting fight.
Oh yeah, that'd be an interesting fight. I mean, but when you really look at the landscape, and this is what I like about this division, is the simple fact that it's a lot of new champions, and things have been, of course, shaken up here of late. And that's what you want in boxing. You want it to be very, very competitive. You don't want to be able to ultimately pick who's going to win the fights. And that's why I think right now it will be smart for him to stay where he is, because I think it is potential for him to have at least 1 or 2 big paydays if he just stays patient.
Yes. And the operative term you just used there was patience. And sorry, my mic wasn't adjusted. Okay, the operative term you just used there was patience, and that's really what I'm looking at, the angle that I'm coming from with this whole thing here. Callum Smith is in a building phase. I think my position is that it's kind of ridiculous. It's ridiculous of Callum Smith, someone who is not overly known, someone who is not a household name, to come into the game and think that just because he's won a world championship, that overnight, all of a sudden, he's going to be, that entitles him to big name fights, big money fights. Just winning a belt does not automatically entitle you to the big money fights. That's my position. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. I mean, there is work to be done. You got to build your name up. There's a lot of building to be done. It's a building phase. Callum Smith is taking the wrong approach, in my opinion. Callum Smith should be looking at this as an opportunity to build his name recognition. He should be looking instead of Callum Smith saying, hey, I want big money fights, I want big name fights, big money fights. Callum Smith should be looking to impress boxing fans. Impress them to the extent where they say, we want to see Callum Smith against Canelo. We want to see Callum Smith maybe go up and fight Kovalev. So ultimately what I'm saying is that Callum Smith is coming to this situation, as we say in England, arse backwards or forwards or whatever the expression is. He's just going about it the wrong way. Winning the title does not all of a sudden entitle you to a pot of gold. It doesn't entitle you to a pot of gold, full stop. What you do is, it's a platform. You know the belt, you're now one of the belt holder. This is the alphabet soup era. What he needs to do now is create a demand to see him against the top guys. You did a good job with Endam. Get another guy in there, whatever level, and do a good job with him. Build your name, build your brand, build your stock. EJ Boxing, are you in the building?
Yes, sir, man. I'm back. So yeah, I'm in the building. I agree with you, man. Callum's just too busy picking his nose, and Gallagher's always out complaining about what Eddie Hearn's not doing, about this, that, the other. The bottom line is this, yeah. You win the Super 6, yeah, and like you're just chilled, man. Like you're Callum's just a cool dude. He's not the type of dude to just like go and call this person a Gallagher. You know, he became coach of the year. He's a cool dude. He's there to stay in the element. It was okay when they were, they're getting fights in Liverpool, but what's happened is that because of their lack of, I'm getting some feedback. So because of their lack of effort trying to get into this thing. When I mean lack of effort, it's like they think because they won the thing, we don't need to do anything no more. But the bottom line is, let's look at this, right? Your division is depleted of stars. All the stars, like you beat George Groves, James DeGale's not there, Eubank's not, Eubank Jr., you could fight him. You need to fight other name guys to build up. And because you're not really calling out no one really wants you, then like the Super, that's why they had the Super 6. So they had these tournaments in there to promote these guys in there. But the stars are leaving. Now you're one of the stars in there. Billy Joe Saunders has called you out, so let's do that. So I see Joe Gallagher on it. Oh, Eddie Hearn's not doing this. It's because I'm not based in London. What are you talking about? Eddie Hearn is a promoter. He goes where the money is. Right now, the money is the Super Six. Straight after that's your launch pad to say, yo, we want to either move up to 175, or we're gonna say we're gonna go. I'll be undisputed. We're gonna go Benavidez. We're gonna go clear up the division. We're gonna go to America. And then talk it into existence, bro. Like, so don't just sit on your laurels. So I'm not hearing nothing they have to say until they go do something. Like, I'm gonna sit around and see what Callum's doing next. I ain't doing that. And in the tournament, you never fought no one. You only fought George Groves with one arm. George Groves and Eubank carried that tournament, bro. In fact, Eubank carried that tournament in that tournament for me. Entertainment. Callum, all Callum did is carry the ashes of George Grove. That one, you know what? Let's say, no, I'm not going to take it away. If George got 2 arms, I think Callum beats him, right? But the Eubank fight would have been interesting. The Eubank fight would have been interesting. And the other guy, what's the other German guy he was supposed to fight who pulled out? So what I'm saying is that, like, there's bodies there. You know what I'm saying? But Callum doesn't strike me the type of guy to fight these guys. I don't know what if Gallagher maybe see something that their guy's going to lose. And the thing, Gallagher came out the year before was blaming Spencer Fearon and blaming Johnny Nelson for dissing these fighters and not supporting him. So he does this regularly. I don't know why he's just moaning around stuff about we're not doing it because we're not from London. They just be shut up, bruv. Shut up. You're the coach. You've been the coach of the year. That's for England. I can't remember the last time where the England coach has been coach of the year. Then your fire wins the bloody thing, wins the Super Six or whatever, the super tournament, right? Then you've had a couple of world champions, but you're still complaining. Like, bruv, come on. Listen, I interviewed what's his name again? Scott Quigg, right? Listen to this, right? I interviewed Scott Quigg. I said to him, how come you didn't fight Rigo? He goes, why do I have to fight him? Well, why do I have to fight? Why does someone else fight him? That's their mentality. It's like they yo, bruh. That is their mentality, bro. So I don't know what they're talking about. I'm serious. It's on my channel. I couldn't believe it when I said it.
Say that again.
I interviewed Scott Quigg. It's on my channel. What I'm going to do, I'm going to upload it again. Yeah. Right, so everyone can see. Scott Quigg goes, I said, look, there were some big fights out there. Rigo was pound for pound number 1 or number 3. Yeah. Why do you fight him? He goes, yeah, he was, but why do I have to fight him? Why did someone else fight him first? I said, yo, bro. This guy said that, bro. I'm not lying to you. Me and my friend was talking the other day.
I think I remember. I think I remember something like that.
Yeah, he said that. Yo, I'm trying to show the mentality of the trainer and the fighter is to stay away from dangerous fighters, have domestic fights and make money. I understand that, yeah. But Callum's in a precocious position. There's no stars, right? Or they feel like Benavidez is a danger. So you could say we're not getting the attention, but the Benavidez is there, like he's right there. There's some other.
I just want to pull you up on the Scott Quigg thing because you can't put that on Callum Smith. Scott Quigg's thinking brain ain't too good, is it?
What's Callum's doing? Or what's Callum doing though?
Callum don't trash talk. He never has.
No, and that's what I said. I know that's what I said. I agree with you.
I'm just saying that I think Scott Quigg's not the sharpest tool in the box.
No, I agree with you. No, I agree with you.
So that's all I wanted to say. I think his thinking brain's not too tough, and we should have given him a bit of a break.
No.
You can't put that on Callum Smith. That's all.
Hold on. Let me come in right there. Let me come in right there. EJ, you'll come back in a second. Yeah, cool. My problem with Callum Smith is that listen. We're living in an age now. Listen, I'm not saying that I love this social media age. I'm not saying that because I've only just started using my Twitter. I've had it from 2014, 2013, it says. I never used it. I'm not saying I love this social media age, but in order to get your name out there, look at what Tommy Fury did. Now, I'm not saying that Callum Smith should go on a reality series. I'm not saying that, but I am saying that we have to acknowledge the reality of the environment that we are in. We are in an environment and a time whereby you have to create a bit of a ripple on social media. Somehow. Now, even if it was just Callum Smith doing a daily thing where he shows you 30 seconds per day of his workout. Even if he's just going jogging for the day, and it's Callum Smith saying, yeah, I'm going on my jog for the day. And you see his foot. He just points the camera down at his feet for 30 seconds or 1 minute. Instagram, 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute. Yeah, that's Monday. Tuesday, he goes, yeah, we're doing the ab session today. And he shows you 1 minute of ab work. Wednesday, 1 minute of heavy bag work. 1 minute, 60 seconds. That's Wednesday. Thursday, 1 minute of skipping rope. Friday, 1 minute of plyometrics. Saturday, going for a bike ride. 60 seconds. So what's that? That's 6. On the 7th day, he rested. On the 7th day, he shows you at home, sitting up with his feet up, drinking a coffee. That's 7 minutes of social media activity per week. 7 minutes. Get his name out there. Build up his social media presence. And then you listen, in this day and age, you have to create a stir for yourself. You know, I check out, I'm not big on social media, but I started following Dillian White on social media. And you see him walking his dogs in the field. He gives you more than 1 minute because he does the story thing. So he throws a stick at his dogs. One of his dogs catches it. He's got 3. One of his dogs catches the stick, whatever, brings it back. And then he's at home. He shows you his dog sleeping. But people still watch. In this day and age, you have to look at the record industry. Look at the record industry. At one time, you signed up with a company and they did everything. Now, they're not interested in you unless you're creating a stir for yourself. As a matter of fact, a lot of the artists now, they're not even going with the major companies. They're creating their own social media presence. And from that presence, they do their own thing privately, independently rather. They do their own independent thing. So, getting back to Callum Smith, I believe the problem with Callum Smith is that he's not savvy to the social media environment. And he or his camp, they have a mentality. You bring it to us. You bring it to us. Well, no, it doesn't work that way anymore. The environment has changed. We're living in a social media environment. Even Chris Eubank. Even Chris Eubank now, he's got an angle. He's got an angle with his cars. You know, he's got some kind of McLaren thing. I can't tell you how many YouTube clips, YouTube videos. He's got various cars that I've seen where journalists go to his house. His house is another thing. He's got this plush house in Hove, Brighton. And they go to his house. First of all, that house is stush. Got the swimming pool. They got this. They got that. They got the boys' room, the little pen. Then they got this, that. The place looks like a dream. Looks like a nice little dream house for a man. And he has created around himself, even as unpopular as some people think he is, he's created this energy about himself, around himself, social media. Callum Smith, social media wise, to me, is dead. I've never looked for him on social media. I've never seen him. He's got no pop. He's a very, very good fighter. One of the best out there right now. But Callum Smith and his team, they're old school in terms of creating a buzz around him. There is no buzz around him. There's no buzz around the guy. There is no buzz around the guy, and it's his responsibility to get with the program, understand his responsibility to push himself. Who hasn't spoken?
I didn't finish what I was saying though, because my man John Dilly jumped in it. Yeah.
And then it's where is he? Edge note.
Yeah. Hear what I'm saying. See, that's exactly my point. My whole thing is that, yeah.
Hey guys,
so Gallagher.
So Callum Smith.
No, hold on. EJ first, then you.
Yeah. So Callum Smith. Yeah. So Callum Smith. So Gallagher comes on social media and blasts this guy, blasts London. It's always someone else's fault, but you know what I mean? It's like, yo, bro, like you're up in Liverpool, they're not doing this, they're not doing that. But look, bruv, like the boxing's a world team, go where it is. You know what I mean? You can't have things your own way, you know, like real talk, yeah. Like I said, innit? The division is not the hottest division in boxing. Light heavyweight is popping, cruiserweights is popping, heavyweights is popping, welterweights is popping, light welterweight, 140, the tournament, you know what I'm saying? Lightweight is good. Romachenko, you're the man right now, in my opinion. I know Benavidez is there, but Benavidez actually vacate his belt, so you're the guy. You're supposed to be the standard bearer, and you're not doing the heavy lifting. That I feel if Eubank would have won the tournament, he would have did that. He'd been talking mad. If Eubank won that tournament, trust, we wouldn't hear the end of it, right? But you're low key, and that's going against you right now in this era. You're big, you're tall, yeah, you're talented. But for me, you're sitting there picking your nose like you've been doing. I see you picking your nose when Eddie Hearn was doing the interview one time, and he don't do that. That's all he does. Picks his nose in the corner, and then I see him digging out his ears. That's what he does, man. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, and that's that's his mentality. That's his mentality. And then I see Gallagher, bruv, we need to do, you know what I'm saying? Like, so you look, Gallagher has a mouthpiece and understanding. So Gallagher, instead of pointing the finger about Eddie Hearn's down London, pointing the finger at your opponents and make yourself undisputed. You've already got the belt. You've got the Muhammad Ali trophy. You've picked up a belt. Why aren't you talking about being undisputed? That's what you should be talking about. If you want to, the thing about me in boxing, especially, like Lomachenko has the right idea. He's a great fighter. He's fighting great opponents. That's one thing. But then to be undisputed in 140 in that division, like Carl Froch could have been undisputed, right? And all that, or Andre Ward, all them guys there, solidify your name in your division and maybe move up and do something great. Don't just sit. Well, Callum's not complaining, by the way. So you got John Dilly's right. But Gallagher is, and that's what we're talking about. So if Eddie Hearn wants to sign me, or you want to leave, or whatever you want to do, bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. No one cares. No, in fact, we didn't even notice you gone. I'll be honest with you, bro. We didn't even notice you gone. So my thing is this: you need to do some. The foundation is there. You've won the Muhammad Ali Trophy, the World Boxing Series. Now you need to move on and solidify what you did. Fight a good. Fight no guy with no one arm. Fight a name guy. Benavidez is there. He's right there. That's a fight that most people would want to see. So go and do it. I want to see you fight Billy Joe Saunders, because Billy Joe Saunders to me is very unreliable, and he's moved up. Yeah, you'll get credit. Yeah, but to me, that's a good domestic fight. But I'm talking about another American. Fight an American.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Anyway, Edge. Yeah, that's me. I'm done.
Yeah. Edge note. You're on mute, my friend. You're on mute.
Okay, yeah, I think there's something wrong because I couldn't hear any of what EJ was saying. Right?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't hear what everybody else is saying. So
okay.
But yeah, I'll talk about what the Callum Smith. Yeah, so yeah, like in regards to his situation.
Can you get your volume up?
Yeah, I got the volume. I can hear you clearly. It's just that everybody else, I can't.
You're a bit low on the volume though, so maybe you need to speak a bit closer to the mic.
Okay, hold on a second. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's much better.
Yeah, so I was just saying with the Callum Smith situation. I mean, he hasn't got many options. I mean, Frank Warren, he can't go Frank Warren because they're releasing all the big guys because he can't afford to pay them all the wages.
Yeah,
he can't go PBC because PBC's run out of money. And the two fighters, they're not really big money fights. And then you've got Top Rank, and they're not going to pay big money to fight. I think Ramirez, I think he's vacated or not vacated. Something's going on with that. So really, the only big fights he's got is on the zone. So he has not really got anywhere really to go. There's not many options for him to do right now. So I think that if he can't get the big fights that he wants it's two options: get paid. Maybe not the money that he wants and just unify, or move up and try and challenge a name in the higher division. So that's the two options that he's got. However, if I was him, I'll just throw the dice. Billy Joe Saunders, Chris Eubank Jr. They're domestic fights. They're big money fights. you know, and if a Canelo will come in down the line, then go for that. But I think that's the only options that he's got right now at the moment. And I think he needs to fight one of those guys at least to get his name back out there again. You know, we know the hardcore fans like Arsenal will know that he's one of the best, but I think he needs to get back out there and to build his profile a little bit so he can get the bigger fights that he wants.
Yeah. Somebody's dropped off. Who was that? Who's dropped off? EJ Boxing still here. Edge Note still here. John Dealey still
It's
here.
Phil that's dropped off, Raphie.
Who?
Phil Walker.
Oh, okay. Oh, Phil Walker's back. Okay, John. You want to speak on Callum Smith's profile? I think do you see what I'm ultimately saying is that I feel like Callum. There's something about the Callum Smith situation. There's something. He's just lackadaisical. It strikes me, not physically lackadaisical, but his team just seemed kind of lackadaisical, low profile.
I think the word you're looking for is low charisma, Raphie.
I've never seen this guy around. I don't see YouTube videos about him. I don't see him when I'm on social media, which I'm not very often on social media. Where is he on? He's not even on YouTube. You don't accidentally bump into a Callum Smith video on YouTube. Where the hell is this guy's profile?
Well, I mean, I agree with everything that you're saying there, but I just don't think he's that kind of guy. I don't think it's going to work. I am wondering if Gallagher's trying to do it for him by being a bit of a nose in the media.
Okay.
So at least it's making something. We're talking about him at least.
Talking about it now.
He hasn't he just gone off and had a kid after that, after the Super Series?
I don't know nothing about the dude.
I think Callum Smith had a child this year, his first child. So I think that's why he hasn't been fighting. I don't think that's made any difference to his social media presence because I don't think he's got any intention of doing that. It's just not who he is.
Damn.
But maybe that's why Gallagher's doing all this stuff and nonsense. I don't think it's going to come to anything. I like what EJ was saying. They should be calling to try and unify the division because if he unified that division, became undisputed and moved up to like heavyweight, then you can be as boring and as quiet on social media as you want. People will know about it.
Yeah.
So I think if you're not a charisma guy, which whatever you think about Eubank Jr., he's out there. He'll put it out there. He'll work all those angles. People either love him or hate him.
Yeah.
And it gets you out there. Callum Smith's a much better boxer.
Yeah.
But he's got zero profile.
You have to remember as well with Eubank Jr. That his dad is doing all the work. He's not really doing the work.
No, hold on.
So he needs.
Hold on. Let me come in there. I have to disagree with you there very strongly. Chris Eubank Jr. He's got Instagram. I see him on Instagram. I go on YouTube and I can accidentally come across one of his videos with him in one of his cars. I can accidentally come across one of his videos in his 007 house. None of that for Callum. None of that for Callum Smith. None.
I'm talking in reference to his initial way.
Initially, yes. Initially, yes.
So Edgno, you're not you weren't aware of the boxing family Smith.
No, but no. Don't get me wrong.
I'm only joking. I mean, the Smith doesn't really compare with Senior.
I'm not saying the Smith is profile because Smith hasn't got no profile. I mean, but I'm not. But we can't give Chris Eubank Jr. all the credit for his profile being up because if his name wasn't Eubank, let's not pretend that the name itself has helped him.
So what? Callum,
as well as his dad.
So Callum,
don't get me wrong. He's on social media. He's on social media a lot, but having there's a difference between having social media and getting the attention needed to bring profile to the fights to get the money to generate enough money. Do you know what I mean? And
No,
Can I comment on this because let me comment on this because you guys, I'm assuming that most of you guys on here are from the UK or somewhere around the UK.
Yeah,
so
UK.
So I'm here in the States, right?
Yeah.
So as somebody that's here in the States, when you talk about we here in the States, we know who Chris Eubank is, okay? Junior and senior, of course. Okay. As far as Smith, I mean, honestly, besides guys who really play close attention to boxing and follow it on a daily basis, they don't know who Callum Smith is. But Eubanks Jr., you could easily pull him up on YouTube. He talks a lot. He has charisma. He's a nice looking guy. I mean, you know, he has that profile that people are looking for that puts him on that platform for people to notice him. But here, I mean, you know, when you talk about Callum Smith, you know, I mean, this guy, he could be a very big fighter if he just decided to put forth that effort to put himself out there. But you know, these kind of things, people are born with that kind of charisma. But now that we have social media, it's a lot easier for people to relate to people on a daily basis with people just doing everyday regular stuff. If he wants to create that profile, he needs to start on social media like Raphie mentioned earlier. But Eubanks, I think Eubanks is headed in the right direction as far as building his profile to get the paydays that he wants. You know, this division within itself is full of a lot of guys that need to build their profile, which to me personally, I think that's a plus. Okay. And the reason why I think that's a plus is because these guys can build their profiles together. Okay. They can create something for themselves. Okay. And they all can get paid in doing so. So at the end of the day, if these guys want to get the paydays that they feel they deserve, they need to start at ground zero and jump on this social media thing. It's been a plus for everybody that has utilized it to, and from there, they can get the popularity and get paid.
Yeah.
I tell you what. Callum Smith ain't trying to fight.
I agree with that.
This Edge can't hear me, you know. Someone mute Edge because he can't hear me, you know. Edge can't hear me. Edge just was talking over me, so
because at the end of the day,
he can't hear me, bro. Like,
let Edge talk.
All right, fair enough.
Carry on, Edge.
Hello.
Carry on, Edge.
Oh,
Carry
no,
on, Edge.
Oh no, sorry. So so they need to be their own promoters. They need to think about how they're gonna if they're they are getting promoted or getting the right money, how are they going to generate other sources of income? Do you know what I mean? Does Callum Smith, you know, have social media? Not really. Does he have his own clothing line? Does he have? Do you know what I mean? It's like, let's say, you know, you can use Tevin Farmer for example. Tevin Farmer, you know, when he's 1,000 social media followers, he's got 200 and something thousand social media followers. He's got his own. He's working on his own clothing brand. He started up a YouTube channel where he's got his own YouTube with him and his girlfriend doing random stuff. But the point is, he's working on himself to build his own profile up. So do you know what I mean? And that's what you have to do. He's doing it off his own back. He hasn't got nobody pushing him except for when he's promoting his fights. So I think that's what fighters need to do, is to be their own business people and start working on building their own brand.
Yes.
Let
EJ come in now.
Yeah, Edge be killing it. Let me Edge. I don't know Edge is on, you know, because Paul Smith went on the Contender Series, yeah, and he was the first one out of the Smith family, like, to get that kind of. They went into America, wasn't a contender, and he came back, fought James DeGale, fought Jules Grove, so he was already there, yeah. Then his younger brother was a world champion, fought Canelo, right? So the family's known, yeah, in Liverpool, right, as Will, and then Callum's gone out there and once they're known, bro. They're known. Man's there. What it is that it's like, see the thing that the thing about boxing, at the end of the day, so you can sit there and complain and do this and do that. Them man want everyone to come to Liverpool. They think, yeah, Liverpool's the place in it, but you're not, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm from London, and I know maybe John Daly's from outside London, and you're from Birmingham, but everyone knows in England, yeah, the capital city of the country is London. You'll come to London and pop, yeah, and then after that, you know, you go around. And now Callum I'm not trying to say Callum, where was them Super Series fights? I swear someone was in Liverpool or where they were. Like, I'm not, maybe it was in Germany, whatever. But what I'm saying is this, yeah, end of the day, there's no excuses. Like, you're a professional fighter, right? Your family is well known in boxing in terms of England. You get me? You could just do something and build yourself up. But if you're not calling Eddie Hearn's phone saying, I want this and I want that and I want this, that, your manager, then it's not popping. Because in the day, Eddie Hearn's got more. Let me tell you something. Who is Eddie Hearn's priority? And I can tell you how this works, right? When Eddie Hearn signed Anthony Joshua and Luke Campbell and Kell Brook was Eddie Hearn's #1 priority. He went to America and beat Sean Porter. When Luke Campbell signed, he was the biggest guy because he was a gold medalist. Joshua was in the back thing. When Joshua started popping when he knocked off Kevin Johnson, then he said, okay, then let me try and put full media against him, and then you seen what's happened. So what we're saying is that they want that push, they want that exposure, but you're gonna have to do something about it, bro. You have to put yourself in a fight to cause excitement, to cause people want to see Eubank. You're saying he don't do this. He don't need his dad, you know. His dad's not even around, bro. That prayer is exciting. He said he don't need no coach. He was doing the same thing what Tunde was doing. You know what I mean? Nah, I don't need no trainer. Everyone's like, what? He goes, I want to fight Golovkin. He was saying, they said they want to fight Golovkin. And I was like, yo, what are you talking about? So the attention was there, whether negative or positive, about Eubank. Yeah, his dad's got a thing in it, yeah, but the Smiths as well. But they took it to another level. The dad's not even involved too much no more because the dad don't like losing. You know what I mean? So Junior went out there and beat James the Girl. I mean, bruv, like, okay, you beat that fight. So what else is popping? You made some money. But end of the day, Eubank is still bloody asking about Billy Joe Saunders. So they all need each other to make that money, and they're gonna have to do something about it. So Callum is to get off his ass, right? And maybe get rid of Gallagher. Go to you know what? He should bloody go to the wild card and bloody train with Freddie Roach in LA, because Freddie will do it. Freddie will give him that profile. Because you go in America, they love you over there, you know. They treat British fighters very well in America, especially LA, and they will give you all them Hollywood stars, and Freddie start building them up. This is one of the most talented guys in England. Freddie will start talking it up. Or go with Abel Sanchez. You know how Abel Sanchez is, bro. He'll just talk mad smack all day, bro. So there's big options. You know what I mean? Forget that bloody Gallagher who ain't doing nothing for you. So it's more to do with the manager and the trainer, and the more to do with the fighter, because that's how it is. So that's my opinion. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, so my opinion on this, I think it was kind of tricky to articulate initially, but I managed to hone it down and distill the thing. And I think my conclusion to this whole thing with Callum Smith is that I don't know, does he need to hire a publicist? If need be, hire a damn publicist. Hire a damn publicist, because if it's the case, I don't know nothing about the guy other than his fights. If it's the case that he's such a low-key guy, this low-key shizzle that just don't work in this social media age. So if needs be, hire a cheap publicist. I don't know, hire your sister, hire somebody to just get content out there on a daily basis. I mean, I don't even want to stray because it's late now, but I don't even want to stray off. But okay, I'll stray off just slightly. I'll just go off a slight tangent to make my point. Okay, I don't know if anybody's into bodybuilding, but back in the day, I used to buy the magazines and whatnot, and this, that. You go down to the gym when you're a little teenager and whatnot, and you knew who Mr. Olympia was. You knew who the runner-up was. You knew who the third place guy was. But nowadays in the bodybuilding world, I still keep an eye on it just for entertainment, just strictly for entertainment. But nowadays in the bodybuilding world, the biggest stars are not the bodybuilders themselves. The biggest stars are your YouTube sensations, your Instagram sensations, your Facebook sensations. They're just guys, normal guys who, got a bit of a body on them, and they go in the gym, and they're not big and bloated like the bodybuilders no more. They got more like a beach body guys. These are beach body guys, and the beach body guys who promote themselves relentlessly every day. When you go to the expos, those guys have the biggest queues. People want to buy their pictures, sign the autograph, sign this for me, buy their protein shake, buy the new sweat top, the new jogging pants, buy the whatever, the new wristband. The biggest guys are the guys who promote themselves on social media, on their all different forms of social media, from YouTube to Instagram to this to that to Twitter to this to that and the other. Callum Smith, to me, just strikes me as a guy who is woefully lacking in the understanding of how you get the big bag. And one of the ways you get the big bag is either if you've got a great personality, or not even a great personality, but it could be a bad personality. But if you have some type of edge in terms of your personality, edge, better than good or bad, edge. You've got an edge to your personality, A, and B, you market yourself. Marketing. Callum Smith's problem. It's not in the boxing ring. It's outside of the boxing ring. It's with his marketing. And he just doesn't have any. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird thing for me to hear myself saying that you need to build yourself on social media, because I'm not really a social media guy to that extent, to any great extent. But even I recognize, even I have now got on Twitter. Even I recognize the need to just have your name out there, to put content out there. That's what we do on YouTube. We put regular content out. You know, it's a form of social media in a sense, is it? YouTube is a kind of social media, you know? And so even if a guy like me, who is almost slightly averse to social media, if a guy like me can understand that, then surely a young guy in his 20s, Callum Smith, should be able to understand and comprehend that he needs a social media platform. You can't just sit on your ass and expect riches to come to you just because you won a tournament. Hey, great, that's great, but you won a tournament. Now what? Now what? So this is kind of a bizarre situation for me, where I have to acknowledge that a guy has got to go out there and put yourself out there. Marketing, whining and complaining in the press, it ain't gonna cut it. Hey, you need some kind of personality edge, some edge to your personality, whether it be good or bad. It's still an edge. And B, ally that to social media. And if you haven't got A, you 100% have to work on B, which is social media. And I think we've come to the end of the show. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around and let everybody have their final words on whatever it is they want to have a final word on. Who's up tough? It's EJ. He's back. Okay, so I'll just repeat. We've come to the end of the show. It's been a long thing. Lots of people giving their opinions, which is most appreciated. You know where I am. This is Raphie Dawkins. It's Combat Radio. But first, we're going to go around and let everybody have a last word on whatever they want to have a last word on. We're going to start off with, who are we going to start off with? We're going to start off with Phil Walker.
Hey, what's up, man? Again, yeah. I just want to say appreciate you having me on the show.
Anytime.
We talked about a lot of different stuff this evening. Again, you know, I agree with the approach that I think these young fighters need to take full advantage of social media. It's free advertisement for these guys, and it can really put them in a place to maximize their lifestyles and help their families out. I can't wait to see. We discussed the Joshua and Ruiz fight. I can't wait to see it. I hope Joshua makes a lot of changes. I hope Andy Ruiz also makes some adjustments to give us a good fight on December 7th. Again, man, I appreciate you having me on your platform. Thank you.
Anytime, my friend. Anytime, my friend. Monday and Wednesdays at 9:30 p.m. Feel free to pass through. The link will be in the comment section, so feel free. Great having you. Going over to Edge Note, also aka Mike of TBV. Come in, Mike.
Hey, thanks Raphael for having me on the show. First time I've been on your show, watching. You've got your channel, so I'm subscribing straight away. Thanks for everybody for coming on. It's been a good debate. Lots of talking about. Looking forward to seeing what Callum Smith does next. Looking forward to seeing what AJ and Ruiz has got in store for the Saudi Arabia Raphia, and and Raphael as well. So obviously you can't chat onto the thing, but I've got my Instagram. Just add me on AJ50 TV, DM me, and then after I give you the details, my details afterwards. Yeah.
Well, all you do is what do you do? What's the easiest way to make that connection?
Because on YouTube we can't really do it, but if you got my
let me think. You can do it on Google. You can do it on Google Plus. Google. How do I normally do it with everybody else? How do I normally do it? How do I?
Nah, he can leave his in the private chat now. We'll just put his details in the private chat now, and that's it, man. And that's it.
No, it's really, in there now, because when I close the thing down, I'm just thinking of another way. It
will still stay there when you close down. It will still be in the private chat.
Oh, okay. Okay. So there you go. Just leave your email, the email that you use in the private. Yeah. You see the private thing on the side? Private chat?
I see the private chat. Yeah, I'm just getting used to this new platform. So
yeah, so just do that. Anyway, subscribe and hit the activation button or whatever, the all, and you'll get all the notifications. As a matter of fact, no, the simplest thing, as well as that, leave it in the private chat, A. B, subscribe with the bell, all notifications, so you'll always know when I'm going live. So that's 2 ways. The third way is to follow me on Twitter. And
I'll follow you on Twitter and all the other social media as well.
Yeah, well, I'm only on Twitter at the moment. That's my thing, Twitter at the moment. So it's Twitter and this and that, and then boom, we're definitely connected. If you follow me on Twitter, I'll follow you back. So we'll be connected. XTBV guy, you're probably still calling. So it's good to hear you. Good to hear you. Definitely be sure to come through. Same as with Phil Walker. Be sure to come through here, because we're always talking boxing around here. So did you leave your final words though? Did you? Yeah, I think you did, didn't you? You said what you wanted to say on your final words. Yeah.
I said what I wanted to say. So thanks a lot, everybody.
Wicked.
AJBXNG TV. Peace out.
Peace. Thanks for coming. Great having you. Good to hear an old voice, even though he tried to sneak in incognito. Okay, so who's left? Let's go with John Dealey. John Dealey.
Yes, I've enjoyed tonight's show, Raphie.
Way past your bedtime, bro.
Yeah, I've been training twice today, though, so it's a rest day tomorrow.
Oh, you played it smart. You played it smart.
Yeah. No, it's just been good. It's been good having all different people on.
Definitely.
Different points of view.
Definitely.
People bringing entertainment as well. EJ's been making me laugh. I think if you say anything about London, you might be getting the far in line with EJ. Maybe that's Joe Gallagher's ploy to get a bit of free publicity.
For real.
Well, it's been a good show, Raphie.
It has been a good show. It has been a good show. It's been a long thing, but a good thing. Once again, in-house talent, John Dealey. And thank you for jumping on, John. And last but certainly not least, EJ Boxing.
Yo, man. Yo, thanks for having me on, Raph, and thanks, John Dealey. Yeah, man. It's been always a great show with Raphie. There's always something going on. I really enjoyed the Brooklyn guy coming on. Shout out to the Mr. Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I can't remember. What's his name? Brooklyn. What's his name again?
Child Boxing. Brooklyn. Boxing.
Yo, Brooklyn Child Boxing. For those who don't know, like if you missed it, me and Raph, we went backwards and forwards. That was hilarious, man. That backwards and forwards was hilarious because he's about his opinion, and me and Raphie was stating facts. And listen, it was just funny, man. I really enjoyed that the whole section. I really enjoyed everyone came in. Also, Hamid came in as well, obviously. And shout out to all them guys there. And listen, Raphie show is the place to be. Wherever you are, make sure you come over. You know what I'm saying? Lunchtime with Raphie. Wednesdays, yeah.
Monday and Wednesdays, and then lunchtime with Raphie on the Saturday.
There you go, man. Make sure you come with Raphie. Make sure you subscribe. You ain't subscribed already. press the like button right now. You know what I'm saying? So I always enjoy coming over. Like, yeah, obviously I'm EJ Bots Alive. I got my own YouTube channel already.
Yeah,
I'm on
go
Twitter, Instagram.
Jay out. He's got his own channel. He's got Twitter. He's multiple sources to get to him. The man's on it. He's been doing it for years. As a matter of fact, I was checking out one of your videos about one of them old-time fighters. Was it Harry Greb?
Yeah. Probably Harry Greb. Yeah. Or I think it was Sam Langford, maybe.
Sam Langford.
Yeah.
That triggered me on a YouTube journey of searching for these old boxers. So there's plenty of content over at EJ Boxing.
Yeah, one more last thing. So this Saturday, my club, one of the guys fighting, K Prosper, is fighting Sam Omash. Is it O'Neill or something like Mash or whatever? It's in the Yorkul. I went over and done the public workout. I'll check that on my channel, and it's this Saturday. There's not much going on this Saturday, but if you got time and you guys in London, go over to the Yorkul and go watch Wadi Camacho's fighting Dion Juma as well. I think they're fighting for a belt as well. So there's two like championship fight in London. So go check that out. So yeah, so I covered domestic, world, and all them things. Then obviously you know what I mean, like all the up and coming fights coming over. So hey, listen, I look forward to come back on Raphie. Appreciate Raphie letting me on, and I'll catch you on the next one. Nice one, Raphie.
Most definitely. Thank you to all the guys who took time out of their day to come over here. And so I hope you guys appreciate them doing that. Appreciate you guys in the chat, you know, for being here. So it's like, you know, it's a symbiotic thing. You know, we need you to be here and you need us to be here too. So symbiotic. It's a symbiotic thing. So yeah, thank you to all of the guys, both in the chat and who came on live. It's Raphael Dawkins. It's been a long thing and a good thing. Much appreciation for the subscription. We're here Mondays and Wednesdays. We're here Mondays and Wednesdays around 9:30 p.m. UK time. Chopping it up, talking boxing, philosophy, and life. And we normally get around to a Saturday show at some time. It could be any time between lunchtime and 5 p.m. UK time. So appreciation all round. You know, you've been listening to Raphael Dawkins. It's the Combat Radio. It's the like, it's the subscribes, it's the comments, it's the shares, and it is the hitting that bell icon to stay updated with news and notifications. And remember, follow me on Twitter. Link in the description box. Thank you to the chat and everybody who came on. It's Raphael Dawkins. It's Combat Radio. And I'm out.